Make sure you get your predictions next week. This is a very serious reminder. It is free to enter. There are no restrictions, so make sure you're entering for next week. But anyways, let's focus on this week's match. Oh boy, Reality Rift versus TNC. So what do we kind of know about these two already after playing a couple of new games under the new patch?
Yeah, I think the one thing we know is that Reality Rift, they have shown improvement, and TNC is still looking strong as always. But there's one extra thing that I know is that if you want to play at the best capacity, you have to go with the best laptop. So I'm gonna give a quick shout out to our sponsor Omen for providing us with this thin and light gaming powerhouse. Without Omen, this would not have happened, and you would not be able to experience the fullest when it comes to Dota 2.
And you not only want to be at the top tier in the game, you also want to be leading everybody else in the fashion game. So make sure you guys check out the beautiful backpack here by Tumi. And now you stand a chance to win it because all you have to do is sign up at tumi.com/esports.
And don't forget, we're not just doing the backpack giveaway. We also have a Logitech G gaming mouse that we're giving away to you guys that are obviously enjoying the broadcast. Make sure you follow all the information down below in that banner, fill in the survey, and then you'll be in the running to win a brand new mouse for yourself. But not just the mouse. I think we spoke quite a lot about the Nerf's prophecies. But to anyone that just tuned into the broadcast, next week we'll be having a feature match on Sunday, and it's up to you guys to get the correct prediction and whether it's going to be a 2-0 or a 1-1. Make sure you follow information in the banner down below for Nerf's prophecies. Make your prediction, and then if you are correct, you'll be in the running to win yourself a $100 Steam gift card. So don't forget to enter. Entries close Saturday before the match. It doesn't matter if it's 1 minute into Sunday, you're too late. So make sure you enter. I do believe the draft is almost ready, folks.
Yeah,
it's about time to review the prophecy.
Absolutely. So we're in the draft here, and already we've got a first pick here for Reality Rift.
Well, so
instantly IO ban.
Yep.
Well, I don't think anyone's surprised about this, really.
Oh, Mirana. So TNC has been also opening up with Mirana very recently, especially after the collector catch.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a huge incentive for all the post-4 players to pick up Mirana right now.
Yeah, it's just, you know, incentivize people to play heroes by giving them really nice looking sets. How many caches have there been where Mirana has a really rare set? I think it's been...
I mean, mostly all of the time. Mirana will get a set.
She never gets a standard set. It's Paul Luna that gets the regular set.
Yeah, I guess so. But some regular sets are pretty awesome. Like, for example, Disruptor. Like, who needs it to be ultra rare?
The Disruptor. I can't get over the Disruptor set. It's gorgeous.
I was just about to talk about Jakiro. Jakiro has received a very good set as well. And there we go, RR. They are really loving this Jakiro pick, huh?
But they've been finding success with Jakiro. Yeah. I mean, they were the first team to bring it out. I think the first game that they played Jakiro, it didn't work out, right? They lost the game, but they kept going with it, and it was the hero that
Doom.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
So I was looking at the stats for KP to see when was the last time we played Doom, and it was almost a month ago. So I think they maybe have been trying to hold on to this Doom to find that right moment. And yeah, we finally see it. Second pick. Do you think maybe the new patch is influencing some of these heroes to come out now because it's not so easy to ban them anymore?
Helmet of Dominator. Doom loves that item. I mean, it received a minor nerf today, just minus 15 damage, but it doesn't really matter. The stats that it provides is still good. The price has not changed. It just changes the Pokemon that you get, which is not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah, and also because of how good health Dominator has been, Doom can always just take away the creep instantly with the Devour.
Yeah,
I think Doom has been slowly showing signs of coming back in other regions, especially the Chinese region. And I'm glad to see finally C teams are picking it up right now. I think this is a lot of the influence from KP, given how he has been playing in the Chinese region. They are the region that really plays Doom to the perfection because of how good of coordination Chinese team normally have. You want to play tempo with the Doom, so I think TNC is the best team to play it out.
I think it's interesting too because all the Southeast Asian teams, their offlaners have a very similar hero pool, right? You see the same stuff, but then when you're up against TNC, you've got to worry about KP heroes. It's not just the standard offlaners. He plays Brewmaster, he plays Doom, Necrophos, he plays all these heroes that a lot of other teams don't really feel comfortable running because they'd rather go back for the Beastmaster, the Batrider, the usual.
Yeah, and so far Beastmaster is still in the pool, and I think RR might want to look at it, right? Give it to KYXY. Beastmaster, well, okay, you're not leaning against Doom, but Beastmaster in general is a good hero. that allows you to kind of stand toe-to-toe with the Doom if you ever have to. Your job is just to get the primal roll, right? You need someone to catch, and good setup for the Jakiro as well. It's always been a good hero. And you can skip the Necrobolt right now, right? Necrobolt got nerfed, whatever. Helm of Dominator is still a good item.
Also, I think more importantly, if you look at R, right, you have to talk about the carry choices they have right now. They want to pick carry that is good against the Doom, that doesn't really afraid about the Doom. I think heroes that come to mind is
Wraith King,
heroes like that, or you can just pair the carry with a very strong, sustainable post 5, like Abaddon, like
Oracle.
the IO. Even though IO is out of the pool, but these kind of heroes that you want to be picking as a post 5.
I think the Oracle also would help with the False Promise and Face Eater Purifying Flames, or what we've seen from RR, the support Weaver from Hustler.
Yes, I think that was probably one of the standout support picks we've actually seen recently, right? He's very different. Support Weaver was a thing a while back, but coming back, and for Hustler to be able to get a really early Aghanims on the Weaver, that changes the entirety of Weaver. He's just such a strong 4 if he can get that farm.
Oh, TNC, they open up with the Grimshot, so we are going to see a double Doom now.
Yeah, I've always been wondering, like even before the broadcast, I was saying, I really want to see that Doom. I feel like Doom is so good against a lot of teams, especially against RR, which plays a pretty, their playstyle has been pretty similar throughout most of the games. But this new patch has influenced them a bit, right? They are playing Bounty Hunter for the second time. They've been picking a lot of Jakiro. They're not afraid to experiment, and I think it's a good thing. But Doom still kind of shuts whatever heroes that they have down.
Yeah, most importantly, we have been seeing a lot of one core lineup recently, and Doom is the perfect kryptonite to this kind of lineup. And we know that they heavily rely on Galakriti in the early game to make stuff happen. But if you're running into Doom, you have to be really careful into running team fights. And aside from that, they have the Bounty Hunter pick. This is something new that we have not been seeing a lot. But RR, I believe they are the first team that brought out Bounty Hunter by Hustler.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be another Hustler pick as well.
I'm not sure if you guys picked up on this, but there seems to be a bit of a trend with Reality Rift's recent drafts. They've been trying to play with vision, right? They had the Spirit Breaker charge to give them vision coming into the team fights. Now they've got the Bounty Hunter and his ultimate, right? To also not give them bounties, but also vision on where heroes are going to be coming into the team fights. Do you think maybe this is going to be a crutch that Reality Rift will rely on to always see? I mean, I guess they also like Spectre, another hero that also gives them vision going into team fights.
Yeah, speaking of vision, it's very important because when you're playing against Doom, you always want to identify his location so that before he jumps to you, you can eliminate him and take out the Doom immediately before the team fight starts.
Is this a Doom?
We might be seeing a Doom 4 or maybe a Doom mid.
Yeah,
we have seen this from SAG, Sparking Arrows Dragon from the Chinese region. I think they have been one of the teams that started with the Doom mid meta. Yeah, we might see the same thing too.
Do you think
we just saw Beastmaster mid, right from Vichy Gaming against Esther. It's also the same thing. I think Bog has played a Beastmaster mid in this at the start of this league as well.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think maybe it's also a deny pick from Reality Rift? Because I know Beastmaster is also one of KYXY's favorite heroes so far.
Yeah, I feel like they could have picked the Beastmaster in and then probably thrown a Bounty Hunter or something. I think but probably for RR, they want to prioritize this Bounty Hunter, right? So they are willingly giving this Beastmaster away, and they should have seen this coming as well. Or maybe because they saw the Doom, they didn't expect Beastmaster to be picked up by TNC Predator, because you would just generally assume that this Doom is going to the offlane.
Yeah, I think for R, they definitely didn't see this coming, because most of the time, like we say, KP is the one playing Doom. And never mind, TNC, they looks like they have really good synergy with the Soulbind. They have a lot of ways to play, especially in a team fight. They have catch as well. But R, they'll go for PL, a more elusive hero.
Yeah, but you have to be careful, right? For R, you don't have any heroes that can save the PL right now. You don't provide any mechanism to keep this PL alive. And it's not hard for TNC Predator to find the real PL. Your Scorched Earth, your Stroke of Fate, the Wild Access, you destroy the illusion. You have the Starstorm as well. The moment they identify the PL, they have two ways to lock him down, right? They have the Primal Roar, they have the Doom. So are kind of they have to kind of rally around Drew right now.
What's the timing window here for TNC though? Because we've seen what happens when a PL goes out of control, right? The early game mechanisms of clearing out the illusions and finding the real one. It's much easier when he has a smaller hero pool, but when he gets stronger and he gets tankier and it gets harder to clear out those illusions, you think maybe TNC might struggle if it goes too late?
Yeah, I mean, if this is a Doom post 2, I think there's a very good chance that he can go for items like Radiance to help with the PL illusions. But talking about timing, I think TNC is definitely the one they want to push the tempo forward because they have the beast. You have a lot of vision for you to play with for your map control. Beastmaster can also make it into the Necro tree to shut down the Bounty Hunter. So TNC right here, they are the one they want to be controlling the tempo of this game.
Yeah, and they still have that potentially position 1. They have not put out. There's a couple of heroes that can deal with this PL. I think the Faceless Void isn't too bad.
Even the TB that we have seen yesterday, like he has been pretty okay against the PL, especially not because of the carry counter, but because TB as a hero, he outpaced PL by quite a good few minutes.
Yeah, they can also run the Drow if they want to. Sure, they don't have the Vengeful Spirit, but they can go for the Drow, I think, if they want to. Or they can kind of surprise last pick of Vengeful Spirit and put this Mirana as a core. They have a couple of ways to go around with this. But the most common one is probably like your Terrorblade, because Morphling is not in the pool anymore. So Terrorblade or any other Battle Fury carriers is good against the PL.
Right, so looking for this last pick here for Reality Rift. Lots of offlaners banned out for TNC, so they're suspecting this to be a KYXY hero. Whereas carries, they're banning those out for TNC. Is there anything that really sticks out that you think will mesh quite well with Reality Rift's draft?
They need some kind of frontliner for sure right now.
Sounds like a KY Underlord again. Let's protect this PL.
Oh, never mind.
They went for the Quap.
So
Offlane.
there's a good chance this might be an offlane Quap or an offlane Bounty Hunter, I feel. I know KY has played a bit of Bounty Hunter time to time.
This is also very scary for RR. If you play an offlane Bounty, that means that you have to play fast as possible. Like, you cannot let the lane you cannot just self-destruct in the lane.
Actually, never mind, because if you are putting the Bounty under the tree, it means that Wild Spirit has to be 4. But we haven't seen Hustler play any Wild Spirit yet.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just the normal stuff to Quap 3 and Bounty under 4 and the Jakiro 5. Nothing too surprising from R here.
So it's just a pure ganking lineup.
This is a line that just wants to fight. You come online, you keep fighting before TNC hits that point. But they still have the TB in their pool. We know Gabby plays a very nasty TB, and TB is not banned out.
Not banned out, and Reality Rift don't really have too much lockdown for a TB either.
Nope, they have a lot of burst damage.
Yeah.
But when this TB just comes online really quick, I have no idea how are they going to depush, because TNC lineup, they are super fast right now. Honestly, if you look at TNC 4 heroes, they can literally be taking team fights against the 5 hero from R. They don't need their carry to come online early.
Yeah. They set up for the Dragon Knight.
Oh, look at how much stuns they can double down with the Soulbind, and also so much setup for the Mirana arrow as well.
There's actually a lot of single target disable. You got the arrow, if you get the long duration arrows, Dragon Tail in crazy duration for Dragon Tail, really.
And you know what? There's no save from our lineup.
Yep.
So anyone that get arrowed is straight up dead.
Yeah, this is a scary thought. Now you got double Dragon Tails as well. Like I said, they have no way to save any members, and especially Drew, right? You want to protect this PL and let him scale. But right now, TNC, they have a multitude of ways to just get rid of this PL.
They actually don't really have too good of a setup for the Jakiro. Normally when teams aim for Jakiro, they have something that's got some kind of heavy CC to keep them within the Macropire, set up for an Ice Path.
Yeah, the only thing is from the White Spirit.
Yeah, the use, right?
Yeah.
You use Aether Remnant and then you just lay out the Ice Path. That's pretty much the disables that they have.
Is there another reason why maybe they've gone for the Jakiro? Is it just the all-round control that Jakiro provides with the dual breath as well, the slow, the liquid fire for pushing?
Yeah, I do think so, because this is exactly what TNC picked yesterday.
Yeah,
they was first doing Jakiro and White Spirit all the time.
You want to, like, it's good against the dead lane, it's good against deep pushing. You can sacrifice, he is licensed to feed, you can sacrifice Jakiro.
Licensed to feed.
He wins lanes for you with the dual breath. I think how they change the dual breath mechanic just makes it even deadlier in lane as well.
Yeah.
However, I feel like TNC's their timing is going to come so fast, much more earlier than RR. But RR, if they have the ability to break through them, to utilize the Bounty Hunter track, they might be able to snowball.
Yeah, because as fast as TNC can play, their cores are, especially I think you want to play around this DK, right? He is kind of slow. The mid game for DK is probably one of the worst the worst period for DK to play because of his power curve.
You would say he's similar to Gyrocopter in terms of power curve, right? Hits that level 6. It's kind of his peak, and then he slows down, but climbs back up during that late game.
Well, kind of. But Gyrocopter has a steadier power curve compared to DK.
Yeah. Looks like the game is ready, so let's jump into our first game of the day. All right, so it looks like we're going to be forming up these lanes. Tim's will be taking the reins of that Mirana yet again. Loving the new cosmetic as well.
Here we go. That's the mid Doom, the Armel Doom. I think Armel has also played Doombringer in the middle lane before. So it's a TNC special. You take out their IO, they introduce another one.
Another kind of IO. This one might be a bit different.
I mean, Doom in general is just a super strong laner. Great sustain. The Devour gives him a lot of health regen.
Yeah, I don't really see Alacrity being able to kill the Doom unless Armel makes a very big misstep in that middle lane.
I mean, if you're the Doom right now, you're not supposed to die.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to kill him. And if you want to kind of just play the lane, you can go for like an early Ring of Taras with the Devourer. You're just not going to die. And Doom generally trades well with a Scorched Earth and Infernal Blade. So this Void Spirit should be able to lane decently, but won't have any kill pressure on this Doom.
I'm just a little bit worried here for Reality Rift because the way that they've constructed their lineup, they want to look for these kills, but they don't want to wait until the laning phase ends. They would rather try and grab some of them before these heroes hit that level 6 because, of course, TNC, they've got amazing counter initiation themselves, right? They've got some really good heroes that can provide a lot of kickback. And usually the best time to hit them is in lane, but they're all just so dang tanky. Yeah,
and I feel like another thing that TNC kind of has a luxury when it comes to early skirmishes is that RR, before they get their use and items that allow them to use Abyssal, it's hard for them to kill anyone from TNC. You only have the Ice Path to lock someone down, and maybe the Aether Remnant.
Yeah.
So any fights without the presence of this Jakiro and Void Spirit, you can just kind of TP out. And sure, you can toss as a minion stun, but there's no hard lockdowns from RR in general.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. But we'll see. Maybe they can turn it in their favor. Just go for these very hyper-aggressive plays, use their mobility, since that's something that their team has a lot of mobility to reposition themselves for fights. And, of course, the vision from that Bounty Hunter once he hits that level 6. Be kind of easy to dodge some of those fights too. Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see how the lanes go, because I believe we've got some technical difficulties happening from one of the teams.
Yeah, I think KP's VPN. Probably, yeah, they're kind of fixing it. Level 6 is where RR wants to play around. You get this track, and then you have the Sonic Wave and Astral Step. These two cores, alongside the Bounty Hunter, will be able to create space for the PL, but they have to kind of make it happen. They have to kind of be active around the map, be proactive. And it's not easy running into TNC because probably other than the Grimstroke, all the other heroes can turn around and actually fight you.
Alright, so I guess we're just going to be looking at cosmetics here while that VPN gets sorted. Still can't get over how Mirana seems to always get the best sets every year.
I mean, you can argue, right? Is this the best set? Do you think this is the prettiest set from the Collector's Cache?
I think this one's probably the most unique looking. I think a lot of them from this year's cache, some of them look very similar. Whereas this one really stands out, right? It's got that Japanese kind of theme to it, and it's just very unique looking. It almost feels like it doesn't fit in Dota. It's almost like the wrong game. You think it fits?
I think it does.
But it doesn't feel like a Mirana kind of thing. It's almost like this should be a new hero, almost.
Like those heroes with mouse have always gotten
the best sets.
I wouldn't say the best sets, but like very unique themes, right? In terms of mount, it's like very, very flashy mount.
I love the Disruptor set. I'm glad that one's not rare.
Oh, that one's so basic.
Basic? Excuse me.
No, as in you can get it without having to roll, roll and pray that you get it. You're going to get it regardless.
I'm implying that it's good enough to be a rare, but I'm glad it's not.
Yes. I can give you TI9, Collector Cache.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh dear. All right, so it looks like we are going to be starting up the game again, and I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Alacrity this game. He's going to be the one to be setting up a lot of these kills for Reality Rift, and of course, Quap going to have to play a big role in this as well. I think KYXY, depending on how he approaches these fights, if they can somehow peel TNC in the team fights, draw attention away in multiple directions, I think it actually might not be too bad when they go into these team fights. They have a lot of single target lockdown, but there's no AoE control on TNC. So you can't hit multiple targets with your stuns.
This is all about protecting Drew, right? He needs to not get hit by the Primal Rod, not get doomed by RML, and if all these big spells that can disable a PL is not used on him, or he somehow dodges it, or he survives through it, then I think RR will have a better chance of fighting. But we saw RML start off with a Buckler Strat Tango, and he went for Devour and Scorched Earth. So is it possible to kill him right now in the lane? But Drew Nuts, we just have to kind of constantly babysit this PL.
Yeah, they kind of have to just cop it on the chin here. But interesting build here from Nuts. He's put a point into that Liquid Fire, so of course he wants to try and get some of that harass damage in.
The South got cancelled by the Wild Axes. Oh, KP just really laying it into Drew.
Now down in this bottom lane, it looks like it's TNC to kind of struggle. Gabby taking a lot of harassment damage from the Bounty Hunter and Quap. We know how crazy Quap is in the laning stage when she just constantly throws daggers at you, and she has that range advantage. Even though you've got the HP regen on the DK, you've still got to be careful.
Yeah, but I think Gabby, for the first few levels, he's going to suffer a bit, but once he gets to level 2 in Dragon Bloods and the Soul Ring, KYXY shouldn't be able to kill him. RML getting slightly pushed out of the lane. Not a good idea to trade with the Void Spirit when he has the Resonant Pulse, but there's a Doombringer. He will always be able to stay alive in the lane. You can even go to the jungle, scout for the camp, see if you get like a Centaur or a Hellbear. You can just take that and come back into the lane. Those auras definitely help.
I do like that he's building up all this armor first too, because Doom naturally only starts off with almost nothing for armor. So just building up the armor, very efficient way of just mitigating all that physical right click that's going to be coming out of Alacrity. Still needs to be careful though, because unfortunately, although Doom has that Scorched Earth, he's not as mobile as your typical mid laners. So there is a chance he might get sniped out by Alacrity, especially once he hits that level 6.
Yep, and well, the reason changes to the side camps in the middle lane.
Yeah.
That RML is slightly lucky. He got the Troll Priest, so he can... Now you just can't kill him, he just heals himself. 5 mana, pretty convenient.
Just gonna try and outlast.
Yeah, just both mid lanes trying to last hit, but eventually RML will be able to outlast Alacrity. And that's where first bird's gonna happen. KYXY laying it onto Gabby, the Dragon Knight goes down. And it seems like March is going to get gone on as well. Shuriken toss to slow him down. They have the Shadow Poison. He turns around with Stroke of Fate. And Uzla, well, takes a bit too much tower damage and he goes down.
Yeah, a little bit of a deep dive, but they did manage to take out that DK, the most important target in that lane. And even though you have all that armor, unless you've got something to turn around with, they're just going to poke and prod you to death. But it's not the end of the world for the DK. He'll just go back into lane, and unfortunately for KYXY, he is injured, so it's going to be tougher for him to try and jump onto the DK yet again.
Yeah, I'm surprised that RR decided to just commit straight onto this Grimstroke. But
right under the tower?
Yeah, that was pretty bold move, but they definitely bit on more than they can chew. Yeah. It could have been an unavoidable death. I think KYXY bailed at the last minute. He just blinked away, and Hustler was left to die.
Yeah, but look at all this constant harassment coming in from the Bounty Hunter and the Quap. Looks like top lane, they're also getting pushed out as well. Tim's very low on that Mirana, just going to be spinning out of that lane. But Beastmaster, KP should be all right. He is much tankier than that Mirana, so he can just stay in lane.
And I like how Nuts went for the Dual Breath and Liquid Fire. Good against the board, slows down the attack speed. But that's in the bottom lane, Hustler getting caught out. But the die doesn't fade away in time. KYXY knows that he can't go on to Gabby, so he's gonna turn his and not in a good position. Tims will shoot him down. Drew probably looking for a bit of retribution with the Phantom Rush and Spirit Lance, but Tims, he has the leap and he gets away. TNC, 2 kills across the map.
Yep, they still have one more leap available as well, so if Drew did try and continue to chase that Mirana, Tims had a way of getting out of there. Very unfortunate in that top lane. You don't want to be losing that Jakiro, but they are still keeping that PL protected and he's not being denied farm in that lane. So I think just killing off the Jakiro. It hurts a little, but it doesn't destroy this lane here for Reality Rift. As long as they just keep Drew farming, that's the goal with the PL. He's going to be the one that hits critical mass this game.
And Lacry actually made his way to bot lane, but he was not able to accomplish anything, so no choice. He has to TP back to deal with Armel, which he has absolutely no way of dealing with. Armel is now just...
Do they want to backstab the Beastmaster there? I think they were thinking about it.
There's no way that they could do it.
I think they spotted at Nuts, yeah.
At least they have vision of March, so they can kill off this Grimstroke, no problem. March will just have to surrender his life.
Bounty Hunter and Quap, what a pain of a matchup.
Yeah, well, you can't really kill the Dragon Knight right now, so you just go for the support. But Alacrity, either he rotates and make a play, or he just stays there and farm with alongside Armel, because there's no way he can kill this Doom.
Gabby's exposed all by himself, but can hide under that tower.
Yes.
Lots of harassment there.
Oh man, the magic damage is so annoying to deal with. It's gonna go for level 3 Dragon Blood just for the extra sustain. But once KYXY gets the Sonic Wave, then it's gonna be super easy to just kill off the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, looks like Nuts is being chased. I guess he was trying to go for some kind of warding mission or to kill off a courier of some kind, but...
KYXY is on a killing spree, and meanwhile Nuts is gonna get run down by both KP and Tim. It is fine, he's a post 5, just disrupt the wave as much as he can.
I think, who was it that said this? This is what a lot of people would consider tactical feeding.
Tactical feeding, yes.
Yeah, they're opening up the lane for Drew, he's not being harassed, Nuts might die, but a small price to pay to make sure that PL gets a free lane.
Okay, by now he got used to it. Oh, but it's the rotation for Armel. Scorch as it feels. They have the dust. They're gonna dust up Hustler. They're looking for KXY though. They get the Doom on this Queen of Pain. Alacrity shows up in the back lines, kills off March, but Armel should be able to chop KYXY to death, but he now has to get away. Scorched Earth bonus movements be pretty nifty in this situation, and I don't think Alacrity can catch up to him, so Armel just does a GTA and get away.
That's a pretty good trade too for TNC. They get the Quap in exchange for the Grimstroke. So you're going to be pretty happy with that one. Although Doom did get used, so this is a bit of an opening for Reality Rift if they want to try and go for a kill now, knowing that Doom is on cooldown. Doom is probably going to be one of their biggest limiting factors when they want to try and go into those fights. You always have to be aware of where's that Doom and is it off cooldown.
Yeah, and Armel is probably the strongest hero on the map right now for TNC. He's going to go for the drum and the classic Doombringer build. To go for phase boot drums and just start running. He's also a great carry of the Vlad. He doesn't really care about the lifesteal, but because of the Vlad changes, it gives him more incentive to go for it. And Tim just a perfect arrow into Drew's face, but Drew is not gonna stand for that. He'll take his fight to Tim's, but Tim's will get away.
Oh, might see a rotation here. They're bringing the Grimstroke with KP and they want to go for Nuts.
Nuts is dead. Swell right on top of him. This is not a good game for a post-5 Jakiro, but I'm pretty sure Nuts is used to it by now, as Armel will pick up that fresh drums. This will just really amplify his impact across the map. And of course, laning against Alacrity is not a problem anymore. This Doom is just too hard to kill. He got the Ogre camp, now he has the Frost armor, even more tankiness in terms when it comes to fights.
Actually, you know who this reminds me of? I think this was a long time ago. Do you remember the Eternal Envy Aura Doom?
Oh, yeah.
He built all that armor, he had the Frost Ogre skill as well. It was ridiculous. They just couldn't kill him. I don't know if they won that game, but I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of that moment. Tim, deleted.
Instantly blown up.
There we go, back to Fountain. All right.
No track kill though, unlucky. Kasla hasn't been able to get much experience, so no level 6 for him just yet. But it's okay, they kind of cleared out the jungle if Tim was there to place some visions. Discard out the stacks that might possibly be done for Drew, but
are there stacks for?
I don't think there are any stacks. No.
Yeah.
I think Tim's is just there to, you know how some Miranas they just go into a jungle, they Sacred Arrow your biggest jungle creep and then leave it there. So you actually farm lesser when you try to go for those camps.
I mean, that's the benefit of Mirana, just this was a change from a long time ago, but the arrow just being able to one-shot creeps helps her farm, and just being able to deny the enemy farm, such a big deal. Oh, got a pause here, so it looks like Armel. Yeah, it looks like Armel's still having issues, so we're just gonna wait and see if they're able to get that fixed up.
Yeah, I think whenever Armel has the Doom or whenever KP has the Primal Roar, they can just go for a lane. And you know, you kill the enemy laner and you just go for the towers, just go for the objectives.
Yeah. Especially now because they excuse me, there's no reason for them to hold the skills. There's no reason for them to wait for Reality Rift to come to them. They can take the fight to Reality Rift and say, we've got Raw, we've got Doom. You can even say, hey, we've got Dragon Tail as well, right? Really big disables. Should be easy to kill off heroes as long as they can land those lockdowns, because Quap, very squishy. PL early on, also very squishy if you can single him out from his illusions. And even Void Spirit, he's very vulnerable if you have any kind of hard lockdown on him for him.
I really would love it if Gabby goes for the Blink Dagger. The first item, Blink Dagger on the Dragon Knight, because Armel is also going for the Blink Dagger. So if you can kind of just jump on one target and do more Primal Roll them, you can just instantly kill them. They have vision of Hustler though, and Hustler gets the track off, but he's the one that will be tracked down straight into an arrow. He's not gonna make it out.
Yeah, I'm very sure that he knows that there's a detection there now. So.
Yeah, a Rude Awakening, and Armel, he has the Doom, so likely he needs to get away. The Rabbit just to keep Armel in place. TP's coming in from Nuts.
Yep.
They want to hold this lane, but I don't think they can.
They got to be careful because Armel still has that Doom, and you can see Alacrity, he doesn't want to show himself because, of course, if he gets hit by that Doom, it's pretty much game over for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, it is a tough situation for RR to be in. They have the TNC have vision with the Hawk, so KP place it, in the tree line, so he definitely knows where RR is, how many members are there. RR, they brought KYX right to the top lane as well to expect a fight. However, TNC, they can just play slow. They are not in a rush at all.
I like the grouping up for TNC because it's very hard to gank them if they're grouped up together. They've got so much CC, their heroes are just naturally tanky. The ideal situation for Reality Rift is to go for single hero pick-offs. Just isolate them, kill them when they're alone. Obviously that's the easiest way to execute. But once you have three big heroes such as Doom, Mirana and Beastmaster in the top lane threatening to push, you've got to defend the tower as well. You can't afford to lose towers against this lineup because everything's just going to snowball out of control. They need to keep that map up for Drew.
As long as TNC death balls, I don't think RR has a way to fight them right now, but it seems like Gabby is going for the first item, Radiance. Super good against the PL Illusions. Just relying on Armel to engage with the Blink Dagger, and you have the long range Primal Roar. I think Gabby will have a pretty decent time just farming up this Radiance that will eventually help him deal with the Phantom Lancer. But this tier 1 is definitely going to go down. As long as Armel stands in front, there's no way the RR can defend this. He's going to try to hunt for Nuts. It's Nuts. He throws out the Macro Pyre, but he knows his life is going to be forfeited. Just clear out the wave, and Armel will pick up that kill.
Yeah. I guess it cleared out the creep wave just to slow this push down, but no way in heck are they going to be able to protect this tower. So that safe lane tier 1 going to go down, unfortunately, for Reality Rift. Looks like they're trying to look for kills elsewhere. You can see down towards the river, they're all actually rotating towards the enemy jungle, trying to avoid the death ball.
Yeah, you just need to play away from the top side of the jungle, I feel.
Are they trying to rotate down to the DK? It looks like they're considering it, and there's even the line drawn.
But if they go on the DK, TNC can just mass TP, so I don't think RR has much choice to work with. You have March on this Grimstroke who can just clear out waves with the Stroke of Fate. Great way to handle lanes when your cores are not around. Honestly, I think from the get-go, the draft from TNC it just takes off all the boxes, and it really limits what RR can do. And RR, they are not winning the lanes per se, they are kind of just going even. So TNC have free reign of most of the maps. You hear the Primal Roar, and it's gonna be, well, once more, take it down.
Dragon goes down and is slain. They're gonna try.
Oh, the Blink Dagger reveal. It's not the Alacrity. He's not gonna get out from this one. TNC just makes it look so easy.
Oh, the hard lockdown's really starting to come in now. The Dragon Tails, the Blink Daggers, and of course that Doom annihilates anybody on the side of Reality Rift. I'm not sure about the draft from Reality Rift. Like, you could see that they wanted to try and go for a very gank-heavy, very aggressive draft, but they're playing defensive.
Yeah, this entire draft is centered around this Void Spirit being able to rotate around the map, this Queen of Pain playing alongside this Bounty Hunter, and of course you create as much space as you can for the PL. But the problem now is Void Spirit didn't win this lane. KYX, well, you got some early kills onto Gabby and March, but that's pretty much it. The moment level 6 happened, they actually have not many ways to take the fight, but they're going to try it onto Gabby. The Storm comes down, dodged by Dissimulate. They have the Ice Power. Sonic Wave from behind KYXY. So Bai gonna tie out both Alacrity and KYXY. So they're really trying to get Gabby, who is trying to get denied by Roshan. Roshan's gonna help out, and he actually gets the deny. So RR, they get nothing in return, and the rest of TNC, they say, we are out, and we're gonna take the Jakiro with us.
That is gotta hurt. They really wanted to grab that kill onto Gabby. So it seems that it's going to be a lot of defensive plays from Reality Rift, but I guess another thing that they want to kind of do with this is that they've got a very chase-heavy lineup. If you ever see TNC retreating, you've got the track to track them down. You've got the Quap as well as the Void Spirit to jump on top of them as well. So maybe what they're hoping to do is that they wait for TNC to at least retreat, use up all their big spells, and then hunt them down when they're trying to get back to safety.
Yeah.
Although, unfortunately, we kind of saw their draft come into action and they couldn't really kill anybody.
That's kind of the window they have to play with right now. If there's no Doom, no Primal Raw, the window isn't that huge. And that's gonna get run down once more. This is, at this point, this is his bread and butter. This is an everyday job, right? Like, this is like a boring desk job where you comes out, you clear the wave, and you die. But Alacrity, he might try to go into Armel. They have KO to back him up. This is a kill that they definitely need. And Gabby, he wants to run away. No stun just yet to aid the Remnant, able to pull him back. Clips him on the edge. They get Alacrity, they get Hustler in. Now there's the track. Ingstraw, Dragon Tail, KP in the backline though. They get the Sacred Arrow onto Alacrity. Gabby goes down. They get the track kill and Alacrity with the rest of the pulse. Simulate tries to create some distance, but they do have the Primal Rod to lock him down. And KYXY, he has to blink to get away, but he's slowed down. You have the Inkstraw to catch onto him, and he eventually still goes down to Tim's, and TNC being able to turn the fight around.
That Starfall coming in to finish off that Quap, that really hurts for Reality Rift. Again, you could see that they were trying to hunt down TNC when all their major spells are on cooldown, but you could see that TNC, they were prepared for it. They knew that there's a good chance that we were going to end up in an engagement in that top lane, so they just brought everybody in. That Death Ball, it's just too powerful unless you can somehow get these heroes separated.
Well, the good news is they got the track goal onto Gabby, so that's a minor goal injection for both KYXY and Alacrity. But other than that...
Is it worth losing 3 heroes though?
Yeah, they end up losing up 2 cores, so this honestly still a win in TNC's books.
And look at what the DK is building, who's actually building a Radiance.
Yeah, perfect against the PR Illusions. You can just kind of stand in the fights. You have Doom and you have the Beastmaster to just stay there with you, play alongside you. It's so hard for RR to play into this once he gets that Radiance.
Yeah, so this Death Ball, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and especially when you get that ball rolling, I don't think there's really any way for Reality Rift to retaliate, especially when they come into these fights. We've got the smoke ready, and of course, because you have a Mirana on your team, Moonlight Shadow should be coming with cooldown very soon. But this backstab is going to hurt because it's a Doom backstab.
They see Drew though, and he's separated Blink, instant Doom. Doesn't even get to doppelganger out in time, and this PL is not going anywhere. He's dead.
Everyone's just on the retreat. Alacrity just keeping up top. Everyone just trying to get out of there. Yep. Oh, they found Hustler.
This bounty hunter will also be given away to TNC. This is just not a safe place for RR to be playing. And this is the reality that they have to deal with right now. Whenever Doom and Primordial are online, they just have to minimize their losses.
Yeah. Maybe the draft was a bit of a giveaway for Reality Rift. They showed the Bounty Hunter quite early. They last picked the Queen of Pain for KYXY. Alacrity, of course, we know what he does with the Void Spirit. Always going to play hyper aggressive, just going to be the real playmaker for the team. And they're trying to make sure that Drew can be the insurance policy, but it's not good if your insurance policy is dying a couple of times, because you still got to get that farm on the PL.
Yeah, the supports need to get some defensive items like a Glimmer, Lotus Orb, Liquid Sphere, Force Staff, just for all these cores, because again, they have no way to get away from the Primal Raw, they have no way to get away from the Doom.
I'm not sure if Glimmer would really work, because you can see TNC's already preemptively bought protection for the Bounty.
But at least RR's going to start things off by killing off Armel. Very early Guardian Grease from KOXY. That is definitely going to help with surviving the onslaught of TNC.
Yeah.
So with this Doom out of the picture, RR will have a bit of space to work with, as Moonlight Shadow will eventually expire.
And that's going to be unavailable as well for 2 minutes. That's unfortunate, because of course they would love to have that for any kind of aggressive maneuvers, but yeah, they had to try and do their best to protect that Doom. So they're likely going to be losing this tower, especially with the Jakiro in lane. So good at clearing those creeps, and the Liquid Fire just eats through that tower.
Yep, the fortification is used, but Macropire makes sure that the creep wave dives anyways. And RR now they can have a bit more breathing room to take control of the bottom jungle from the side of TNC. They have this 4 stacks of Ancients for Gabby.
I have to say, props to TNC. They have been so disciplined with all this stacking.
Yeah, he's gonna get in Radiance right after this.
This is something you'd actually have to look out for if you're a Reality Rift. Like this is actually a really big difference because we have seen no stacks on the side of Reality Rift for Drew, but for TNC, it's not just the support stacking for the cause. Even DK was stacking for himself earlier in that bottom lane, so he's flash farming and aiming for that BKB. Once that BKB is up, of course after the Radiance, but this DK is going to eventually just out-itemize the PL.
Just the efficiency at its finest.
Exactly. I feel like this is something that maybe Reality Rift need to consider going into their next games. Having the supports consider going for more pulls maybe for Drew. Considering that Nuts died multiple times in lane, you kind of would have expected maybe get some stacks ready for Drew since he wasn't really pressured in that lane.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I think Nuts wants to protect Drew, right? But if he leaves Drew alone, this Beastmaster Mirana will run him down. And you can see the itemization from TNC. Yeah. Armel is going to go for the Shiva's Guard eventually, right after his BKB. That's going to deal with the PL illusions. You have Tim's going for the Veil of Discord. That is going to destroy the PL illusions. And you have the Radiance from Gabby, which is also great against Phantom Lancer. And that is before, that is not even including the fact that Gabby can go for the Mjolnir and for the Chain Lightning. So this PL, his game is not going to get any easier from this point onwards.
Absolutely not. It's all going to come down to those team fights. If they can win the fights and get some of the track gold, that might be one of the ways that they sort of come back into the fold. Just make sure that they can itemize that PL to just be really big, that big tanky PL that we're so used to seeing. But for now, Drew's still playing catch up. He's still got a long way to go. He's not done yet.
Yeah, his net worth right now, well, he might have the highest net worth, but he's just not as effective as the other members on the side of TNC.
You don't even want to fight if you're that PL, because if you come into those fights, he's going to have a big target on his forehead for a Roar, a Doom, a Dragon Tail. If any of these 3 spells hit him, he's dead, because he only has 1.3k HP. There's more than enough burst on TNC to kill him.
So he has to go for the Sanjin Yasha. Extra stats, extra health, bit of magic status resistance for the PL.
Just big item for the Doom now.
Fighting item.
BKB.
Yep. And once his BKB starts, having shorter duration, Gabby's BKBs can come online. So TNC can really play around this timing. They have such a huge window to deal with RR right now. RR got the axe on Alacrity, but Alacrity has to do a lot of heavy lifting. He does see the Moonlight Shadow, just ran out, so he can go on to March. Max TP coming from TNC. Alacrity gets the kill onto Mars. That's the bounty claim. But he has to get out, and Armel's going to find him. Blinks right in. Patient with that Storm. Alacrity tries to TP out. They have vision of him. They get him rooted, and he's not going anywhere. Spirit Vessel, they get the Storm from the Center Conqueror. And Armel says, I have that ability. They kill off Alacrity. Hustler also dies on the other side of the map. They trade KP in return.
Oh, that's not a kill that you want to go for. A Grimstroke, but you're losing your Void Spirit, and of course Hustler dying on the other side of the map. You really want to be taking these small, even if it's just the tiniest of skirmishes, just pick up a support, leave. It's already a little victory for Reality Rift, but they need many victories to really come back equal in this match. And so far, it just looks like they're unable to really find any openings. TNC, they're just so good at reacting to these team fights. It just seems like they've got this sixth sense. They know when they should be going in for the mass TPs.
Yep.
But I guess the good news is that this was a nice little push up top because TNC used most of their TPs in that bottom lane. So reinforcement's not going to be that strong up until that point, but they just leave the tower. It looks like they want to play ultra safe.
Yeah, TNC, they mass TP bot, they kill off Alacrity, and they immediately start walking top. There's no way that Arslana can take down that tower in time, so now they're at top.
It almost feels like they're trying to make all these little plays work, but it's too many high-risk, low-reward payoffs.
This really tests RR's mettle, because we talked about how they have an issue where when it comes to the mid-game, RR's decision-making hasn't been the best, right? And now they're up against TNC, which is obviously more experienced than them. This will really test how they make decisions around what TNC's momentum is right now. And you can see TNC, they're not going to stop.
No, they don't need to.
Primal Roar is back up.
Why should they stop? Primal Roar, they're also getting very close to another Blink Dagger, this time on the Beastmaster, and Doom's but building a Shiva's Guard. And the reason why that item is huge is that if he blinks in, pops that Shiva's Guard, there is no way you get out of that fight if you're Reality Rift.
Yeah, it's amazing against the PL illusions, and because of the Spirit Vessel aura, now your Garden Greaves isn't as good as it was.
Absolutely. And how do you kill the Doom too? Because he's just building so much armor.
Yeah, you're not supposed to kill the Doom at this point. The Doom is just a really tanky initiator that also deals damage. The immediate smoke from TNC, they use the Moonlight Shadow. Drew, he breaks the smoke, but he has no idea that TNC is there. Doppelgangers, Phantom rushes out of the way, gets Spirit Vessel on top of him. He's on top of Gabby though. Gabby immediately stuns him. They can actually take him down with the Radiance. Tims will find that kill with the Sacred Arrow, and immediately RR, they have to get the heck out of that area.
But they still lost the PL though. They couldn't afford to lose Drew. Oh my goodness.
Yep, this is unfortunate for RR. They don't have vision in the jungle, or they have the sentry, but when the smoke broke, it wasn't around the sentry area, so there's just no way that this PL can get away. Nuts now gets jumped on. The Infernal Blade is just going to roast him. Dragon for lunch. That's the matter of fact right now for TNC.
The lineup is just so efficient for TNC. You've got a way to... They've got lots of vision to work with from the Beastmaster. You've got technically a free smoke on the Mirana because of the Moonlight Shadow, allowing you to go for all these plays just to scout around as a defensive spell as well. It's really hard to move around the map for Reality Rift. You have to feel for them. They keep wanting to make these things happen, but Drew just ends up being collateral damage every single time. Yeah. They need Drew to stay alive, but no matter where he goes, he's just being hunted down. And Alacrity.
It's Vessel, Veil, Doom. They didn't even need Doom or Primal Roar for the PL, and this is like we both agreed on. RR has a very little window to work with.
Well, I think it's so small. I don't think anyone will really fit through that window. So now it's actually up to TNC to make the correct plays here, because of course Reality Rift, we can't ignore the fact that they're actually very good at utilizing mistakes. If TNC make a mistake, if they use a skill too early, if they waste a spell, the chase potential on Reality Rift is huge. They can chase. They've got the Bounty Hunter track to give them vision. They've got Queen of Pain and Void Spirit, very mobile heroes that want to be chasing and looking for kills. And then you've got the Jakiro, who's actually very good when it comes to locking down targets that get initiated on by that Void Spirit. But again, are TNC making these mistakes? Not really.
Yeah, and TNC, this is their game to lose. You can see
it's going to be high ground, I think. High ground will determine whether they convincingly take this game or if Drew's able to keep this game alive.
Yeah, because of the amount of control that TNC exerted across the map, RR, they're playing on the dangerous side of the map. They're constantly playing in TNC's jungle. KYXY just got his Lincoln Sphere. That is good news. You
know, something that must really be painful for Reality Rift is that in most games you can buy one item and it kind of fixes all your issues. But when you look at what TNC have, you're looking at a completely different animal. Primal Roar goes through BKB. Of course, BKB is the usual item to pick up, right? Doom goes through BKB, Primal Roar goes through BKB, and then if you don't go for those items, then you're still dealing with the Dragon Tail as well. You also have the Mirana Arrow, which is usually set up by the team too, and then you've got the Grimstroke. Oh, it's like you have to buy an item, but that item instantly gets countered by two heroes automatically.
And the Alacrity immediately gets gone on. You have the Ink Swell, Blink, Primal Roar. That's the dagger reveal for KP. Oh, Voice Spirit gets sent back to the Void indeed. Lincoln Sphere from KYXY is going to be used on Alacrity and Drew, and they still need that Lotus Orb. This Lincoln is not enough, so KYXY is going to be the full utility man, and now Armel is going to see Drew.
Ruh-roh.
Still has the Doom with him. The rest of TNC,
they're all hiding in the tree lines. You can see how scared they are to move around the map.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that really puts a lot of stress on the players and how they maneuver around the map, because you don't have vision advantage, you don't have map control, and if you show up on the map and TNC finds you, it's a guaranteed kill.
It's also a pretty big time for Hustler to actually give his team vision as well. I've been seeing him just constantly throwing out those tracks, and of course that helps out the team because they can at least see where some of these heroes are moving, but You've got Tim's. I think Tim's has a Yule Scepter, so yes, he does. So he's been actually using off the track, so it's more or less not that great on the Mirana, unfortunately.
Yep. And guess what? They just got a gem on March as well. So Hustler can't really hide. Speaking of that, level 3 Necrobolt also pretty decent against Hustler. It's not level 3 just yet from KP, but it doesn't really matter. Gabby will go on the hunt as well. This Bounty Hunter not able to hide in the tree lines, while Axis is going to cut that down, and nope, they pretty much run into him, and Hustler is dead.
Yep. Well, he did take them on a bit of a wild goose chase.
The Linkers blocks out the Doom. It's gonna save Alacrity, but KRXY will forfeit his life. It's a way to safety, but Armel follows up with his own blink, BKB, and Central Conqueror Stomp. It's a killing spree for this Doom.
You got a blink ability? I've got one too. I got my blink dagger.
Well, good news is they blocked out the Doom, so Alacrity survived. No Doom for Armel.
But does it really matter though? Because they're not worried of just the Doom, right? There's so many other spells you've got to be worried about for Reality Rift.
Yeah.
Drew's farming down bottom, but
Tower's going down.
You have to think, like, when is it time for the PL to have to come back? And Drew just finished his Satanic of all things. So is this time for Drew to sort of come in and help out?
Well, he definitely has itemized himself to fight, but
is that enough?
Well, we'll find out. Looking for Armel. Shiva's got to go to the nuts. Nuts does survive. Staying so on top of the Doom. Just to deter this PL. Can't really run into TNC in any form, shape, of manner.
Yep.
Now the gem is also on Armel, so Hustler can't really sneak behind this TNC lineup.
Oh, I've got another smoke here. Didn't include Gabby, but they're gonna hide behind that DK.
Oh, 3 blink daggers for TNC as well. Armel almost gets found out. They still see him, but TNC goes for a re-engage. Gabby with the Dragon 2 onto nuts, where Armel gets silenced by the Resonance Pulse. Meanwhile, KP finds the Primal Roar onto Hustler. The support's gonna go down. Sonic Wave is pretty huge. Hits on the 4, but where's the damage? Buyback comes up from nuts, but you can see RR trying to go on a retreat more. Drew now has to carry the team. They managed to kill off March, but they need more than that. Ice Power and Necrophile drops right down, but Gabby will pop his fresh BKB and stand his ground to fight against Drew. Drew getting burned down by the Radiance. Shiva's guy is also around. His teams will leap away, but it seems like RR, they're trying to go for the chase. Gabby is the one isolated, but he managed to fly to safety as well. Alacrity trying to look for any stragglers, but TNC just clean disengaged from that fight.
Oh, there we go. We're starting to see Drew kick in on that PL, and this was what you've been waiting for in Reality Rift. You need your powerhouse to come into the fight, and I guess you could almost argue it's the anti-mage factor, right? It's like, oh, I'm done farming, team, I'm going to come and help finally. Of course, you would love to get more items, but now TNC, they're going to be hard-pressed to actually finish this game as soon as they can, because we've seen games get completely turned over because they're dealing with the very fat PL. And the one thing that PL actually does this game is that, of course, as he gets tankier, the illusions get more and more difficult to clear out. Of course, we did see TNC clear out the illusions reasonably well as well, but eventually, they aren't going to have enough damage to kill off the main PL. Because they've been using a lot of it to lock down the Quap, to lock down the Void Spirit, so now they have to selectively decide who do we leave alive so that we have enough damage to kill off Drew.
But that problem will be solved eventually by Armel. Oh, Moonlight Shadow, Alacrity, no idea. Linker's Whip blocks out that Phantom's Embrace. Aether, Remnant, Astral Tap gets back up, no stun. Means that Alacrity gets away, but KYXY now getting gone on. There is the Doom from Armel, and KYXY getting hunted down. Hits by the Shiva's guard. Now he has to TP out as well, and Armel, can he find him? Is the arrow in time? No, it's not.
Very close. Almost had it. But now it is Reality Rift's time to come back, because this goal of theirs, to keep the game going, to make sure that it hasn't ended, means that Drew's still farming.
Yeah, and
Drew just has to get bigger. That's his only role this game.
Gabby getting his Black Dragon, the Aghanim's almost done. Armel's as well going for his own Aghanim, the Infernal Blade now is going to be even deadlier and used against the any team, especially if he gets on the Drew. He actually already has it, so RR, they need to be checking the inventories of these TNC members, and they're playing on the top triangle of TNC's jungle. So just playing as far away as they can from the Philippine squad.
They're just swapping sides, really.
This is a smart move from RR. They just don't want to be directly in conflict with TNC right now.
I mean, they have no reason to really contest for that tower. They probably know that, oh, if we go down there, we're going to get picked off by a Doom. There's a Beastmaster. They've got the high ground advantage. There's no reason to fight.
Best TP though. Gabby just got his Black Dragon. This axe is pretty huge. TNC, they got mass TP. Arrow hits onto Hustler, but Night Shadow also used as well. RR now going for the full retreat, but Gabby immediately he finds nuts. That's going to be a dieback for the Jakiro. They would just have to surrender him for 70 seconds, but Armel finds a bigger target. He does break this Void Spirit, and the cooldown break mechanic is so strong. Alacrity with the similar tries to get away, but Gabby on his tail, he has to cancel his TP, and he will be taken down as well. Lincoln's Fear is there, but it doesn't matter. TNC, they will still kill off this Void Spirit.
That was a long chase. They almost lost him, but not enough for Alacrity to get out there. Again, just buying time. They're losing heroes on the side of Reality Rift, but they just have to continue pushing their PL forward. They gotta keep Drew farming. As long as Drew doesn't die, it's good news, because that PL will be a huge factor going into those fights late games. With, of course, one of his biggest factors is that Diffusal Blade. The mana burn is huge, and they get KYXY. Oh dear, that's not something that you want.
Oh, getting picked up left and right, and the power from TNC. They can always play with this. There are 3 Blink Daggers, 3 cores that have solo kill potential, and because RR's draft that's not really meant to save the teammates, is just
Look at that mana
difficult for RR to stand up against TNC. Although they do have a window right now, there's no Doom, there's no Primal Raw, but RR, they need their core members. They need KYXY and Alacrity, so that means 30 more seconds to defend this set of racks. The back to positions, back to attack is going to kick in. Gabby turns into the dragon, and that means that all these illusions are just not going to do anything.
That mana burn is actually going to really hurt if they end up coming into any kind of conflict, because you won't really have enough mana for a Dragon Tail here at all.
Slower. TP is coming in from Alacrity. They want to go on to Gabby to get the silence off, but you have the Golden Scream. Gabby pauses BKB to get out, and Armel also has a Spider Legs. He tries to get to safety. One Light Shadow comes out. RR, they need a bit of detection to stick onto TNC, but look at how fast TNC are running. Phantom comes in from Drew. He wants to get onto Doom, and he's not stopping. He's like, I'm going all the way, baby. With the Diffusal on top of Armel, they use him out into an arrow from Tins, perfectly done to stop Drew, but Drew with Doppelganger. Another Phantom Rush, courtesy of Hustler's track, but they need to kill him off, and now they turn around. KP, he actually lost the illusion, and it means Armel will be taken out, and now Tins not in a good spot, has to leap away, but they have the track and the Spirit Vessel onto him. Frost Staff will keep him safe. But at least Reality Rift, their perseverance paid off and they get the Doom.
That mana burn is actually really going to be an issue for TNC. We saw there that unfortunately for DK, if he had enough mana for a Dragon Tail, he actually would have been more confident going up into, and maybe they would have actually engaged into Reality Rift, but because he ran out of mana, he popped his stick early as well, realized, wait, I don't have enough for a Dragon Tail. He had to go for a full-on retreat.
And now no Primal Raw means that RR, they found their window. Gabby popped his BKB, and now here comes the Soul Buy onto Drew. Though, why is he there? Sonic Wave is pretty huge, but they need to get the Drew out. Drew getting a lot of damage onto him. Lincoln's Sphere on top as well. He's going to pop the Satanic and fight Armel. Look at that lifesteal. He's going to get broken by the Infernal Blade, but he needs to get out, and he might not have the luxury though. Surviving on the Slither of Health, the Guardian Greaves, the regeneration, keeping Drew alive, and they actually get Gabby. And now the track comes in from Hustler. The power from RR's draft coming online. Aether Remnant holding back this Mirana. Mirana leaps away. Teams get to safety, but KYXY, he has his sights onto KP. The ball slow him down, but the Shadow Poison is stronger. Tims gets taken now off screen, and KP is going to beat his drum. His last stand, throws out the Wild Axis, but KYXY will eventually reach him. I just need one more shuriken. Come on, Hustler. Shadow Poison, Spider Legs, that should be KP down as well. Great fight from RR, and through all that, they kept the PL alive.
And they're now pushing up high ground. Oh, this is not what you want as TNC. TNC have built so much of a lead coming into this game. They were actually threatening to actually finish the game earlier on, but after that one misplay in that top lane, when they were trying to retreat, they get a big kill on that Doom, and of course you're dealing with the Bounty Hunter. Any fights, when you're up against the Bounty Hunter, you have to win those convincingly. Otherwise, the Bounty Gold gives a huge advantage to the Bounty team.
Well, TNC, at one point, they almost had a 10k gold lead. Now it's down to 2,000. A huge goal swing in favor of RR. And it all started. They kill off Armel because KP missed his Primal Raw. It hit the PL illusion. He bought back without Primal Raw, and RR says, well, you have no Doom, no Primal Raw. We take the fight straight to your doorstep. That's the first high ground tower down, and now the blink in, double Doom. They got Alacrity, and now the double Primal Raw is going to split the battle lines of RR. TNC wants this fight, and they're going to get Nust. They're going to get Alacrity. They should be full retreat from Drew, but he gets stunned now and broken. This is the break that TNC needs, and Drew with the doppelganger. He pops the Satanic, he stands his ground, but 5 angry members of TNC right on top of him. They will get the Aegis. Drew's going to come back to life, but RR, they felt compelled to fight. They actually didn't get the outpost unit. Alacrity has to walk all the way. That is not the fight you want. He eats the cheese, but even the cheese is not going to keep Drew alive. One last doppelganger. He wants to play a little bit of footsie work. Drew getting slowed up, and Shiva's got, and Armel will eventually kill him off, but at least Marsh gets taken now. They find both supports of TNC. RR, this fight is over for them, and TNC will hold their high ground. Hustler tries to run away. He'll be able to get out.
Did Gabby pop BKB?
Yeah, just for extra measures. But nonetheless, it's TNC being able to hold the fort. That's the Aegis and cheese. RR didn't really get too much out of that.
I think that was a misclick from Gabby. He popped the BKB after they killed KYXY.
And Armel, he has the gem. No, he actually does not. Or did I see Hustler?
Hustler kind of playing with death here. Well, it was a good run for Reality Rift. They managed to take that mid set of Raxes. They stuck around a little bit too long, unfortunately. They could have actually gotten out of there scot-free, could have kept the Aegis, but they decided to press the issue down in that bottom lane. And of course, the reinforcements for TNC, it was there, and their lead goes back up to 7k. So it dropped down to 3k. Those kills that they got back, pretty big deal. So bit of a swing back to TNC. It's not over yet. The game isn't... I think some people would think, oh, no, it's lopsided. It's going to be PL favored. Not necessarily, right? It's all down to TNC and how they approach these team fights. If they can lock down the correct heroes, especially if they can get that Doom onto Drew, that's the big spell. Once they catch out the PL, that's basically it for Reality Rift. That PL is their main source of damage.
Yep, you kill PL, you win the game. And guess what? Armel going for the Octarine core next.
Finally get to see a Voodoo Mask.
Yeah, and finally, this dude might not even die in the fight right now. Assault Curious now also being purchased by Gabby. Even more tankiness for TNC in fight. So if the last fight that RR won was from blood, sweat, and tears, they're going to have to scream more of that to take out TNC.
I'm not sure if that's a very nice way, but, well... I think if anything, you got to play your heart out, right?
Yeah.
We are looking at the Grimstroke here, and he's aiming for the Aghanims. And we've seen what Aghanims has done in one of our previous matches. I think it was 2 weeks ago we saw a Aghanims rush. Of course, this is not a rush as well, but that copy coming in from the Grimstroke, that could actually be the one thing that ticks it over in favor of TNC. Of course, if you make a copy of the PL,
yeah,
I think that might just be it.
Yeah, that's extra damage. You can't really target it, and it beats you to death. So
I mean, the PL essentially let's say they make a copy of the PL, it counters everything that Reality Rift has.
Yeah, they are still kind of on a timer, right? Even though they won that fight, they got that one set of racks. They are still on the back foot because TNC has been itemizing perfectly against RR's draft. Every single item progression serves a purpose to take out the PL. And we saw an Octarine core coming, being the next item for Armel, Gabby getting the Assault Curious, and now you have the Agonist being queued up by March as well.
Yeah. So now it's just a matter of when and for who. Who's making the next move? Is it going to be Reality Rift? Do they feel like they're the ones that are hard-pressed to make the move, or is it still TNC to sort of keep this game under wraps? Because we've seen what happened when Reality Rift, they find an opening to try and start chasing down TNC. TNC end up just having to run away because we know what happens. There's so much chaseability, the bounty hunter tracks, the fact that Alacrity as well as KYXY, insanely mobile heroes, they're so good at chasing. And of course you've got the PL, which you cannot outjuke a PL. No way if he's got vision on you.
Yeah, you just need to, for RR, it's the same formula the entire game. Just need to outlast this Doom and Primal Raw and fight with those small windows, right? Because we saw the one fight that they won that led to the Roshan and the Rex was the window where KP had no Primal Raw, Armel had no Doom. They were able to kind of run them down, and they forced the buyback from the Beastmaster as well. Yeah. So that is the opportunity that RR is constantly searching for, but see how TNC just held high ground in that bot lane.
So we saw Drew a little bit earlier. He's actually aiming for a Skadi as his next item. And I feel like that Skadi is going to make him such a lethal hero in these team fights, because as of now, the only way TNC can kind of get away from him is to juke away from him. If you can actually avoid getting hit for a couple moments, of course you get that blink. But with the Skadi, I don't think you're going to be able to out-juke that PL. And of course, you've got the healing reduction coming in from the Skadi too, right?
Yep.
So that's going to really hurt the Doom.
You just want to tank up right now as a PL. Stand there and fight. Stand your ground. Illusions Cape for Gabby.
Actually, if the illusions hit anyone from TNC, they all get slowed.
Yep.
So that might be the positional advantage that Reality Rift need. But for now, they've got to defend their base.
This is the ultra late game right now.
Skadi is done.
Doppelganger CD for Drew. Nuts. With the ice path on top of Gabby. The arrow actually lands to KYXY. They're going to engage on team fade away. KYXY stun and taken now. Instant buyback. But there's the blink in. They get the start onto Drew. Drew is in the middle of the fight. My friend, what are you doing? He goes down. There is no buyback for this PL. And it seems like the unthinkable has happened for RR. Now they have to hold the fort. 4 versus 5. Alacrity has to pull most of the weight. But TNC, they know that if Drew were to buyback, it's going to be now. But it seems like it's going to be never as Armel jumps in, gets center Conqueror Cop. There's a full engage from TNC. They got on top of Lackley, and Lackley will be roasted by Gabby. Stun onto Hustler. Hustler now goes down, and RR is down to just 2 members to withstand the onslaught of TNC. And by all gods and lords that are watching from above, we all know that RR, they have completely missed their timing. Sonic with KYXY, able to chip out Tim's. TNC goes for full retreat, but Nuts will be caught up as Armel re-engaged. Voodoo Mask helping up. He's going to land the Inferno Blade plus the Stomp into an arrow. That is Nuts out for 50 seconds. But it seems like RR not really calling it quits just yet, but the base is in total shambles.
That was a very questionable decision from Drew. He walked right into all of TNC, and then he just got perma-stunned. Absolutely nothing that he could do. Of course, they were trying to protect him, but...
Oh, Hustler gets caught again. Just, well, Guardian Reef's not enough. 15 more seconds until PL comes back.
I don't think it matters, though. They're just getting wrecked.
It's Mega Creeps for TNC, and now RR. As if the challenge of TNC's draft wasn't daunting enough, now they have to play against Mega Creeps. It's KYXY with the 25 just yet. No fear talent. TNC just got themselves a huge lead.
That was such a questionable fight in that bottom lane. There was no reason for them to just suddenly engage onto TNC. But, and the worst thing about it was that Drew was the first one to die. He bought out for that Skadi. So I'm not sure if it was him thinking that he was maybe invincibly tanky, that they would be able to help him if he ended up getting stun locked. But I just saw him sitting right in front of the DK, and his HP just went down, down, down until it hit that 0 mark. And of course, when he's dead, it now falls back to Alacrity and KYXY to hold the fort. But what can you really expect from those two? They've invested everything into Drew.
You know what Winter likes to say, save your body syndrome. KYXY got caught, but he had buyback, right? So if he dies and he buys back, he can kind of continue the defense. But Drew was like, let me try and help. The team wasn't ready for that, which was pretty unfortunate.
But I'm just trying to think, why would you want to get so close to TNC? Maybe he was hoping that they thought all of the PLs there were illusions?
No. It's so easy to clear the illusions. All the items from TNC is made to deal with PL. The team just was not ready.
Yeah.
Probably they didn't communicate right. Drew's like, oh, guys, I don't have buyback. KRXY, he had buyback, so if he goes down and they want to defend, he can just buyback and hold and just kind of play it slow. But probably a bit miscommunication from RR caused them to be in this state right now. 21k goal advantage for TNC. They have Mega Creeps in their favor. The next step is just to take the throne from RR.
And of course, the Grimstrokes got the Aghanims now. Things just got a lot tougher.
Yep, and Drew, well, he has to save for buyback, and he feels
Divine Rapier.
compelled. Divine Rapier. He actually queued up before the Scarly. I think he queued up. Was it Butterfly or something? But it was definitely not the Divine Rapier. But
No.
because of the position they're in right now, Divine Rapier is the choice to go. He has no other options.
I think if anything, though, the biggest thing he'd actually want to go for is just have buyback available.
Yeah.
Because every time we've seen Drew sort of crumble is that he'll buy something out and then he just comes in with no buyback.
No buyout. Guys, I'm strong. Not strong enough though, unfortunately.
Oh, goodness.
The Roshan. Let's see if this one has the axe or the refresher shard. But either way, it's going to be absolutely amazing for TNC. And while we immediate smoke, they're just making sure that RML is not caught there. Just providing backup. This is a free Roche. There's no way that RR can contest this. I just want to know if this Roche has the axe or the refresher. I guess we'll find out. That's the cheese. Oh yeah, primal roll. Okay. Beastmaster, yes, the axe blessing.
Ah, okay.
Wall access, unlimited wall access. This is the final nail in the coffin. TNC just need one more fight, and that's the GG for RR.
Yeah, we'll see if they can hammer that nail in, but it's up to Reality Rift. They've somehow got to turn this game on its head. It's that one team fight. They lost so much from it. And even Tim's on this Mirana, he's getting so farmed. Everyone on their team is scaling, whereas you take a look at Reality Rift, everyone's sort of stagnant.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to move anywhere because there's no space to farm.
Well, the good news is Alacrity and Drew both have buybacks, so they can stand their ground against TNC. But they have to make sure that the rest of the team is there with them. This level 25 PL.
Oh, look at that mana.
Oh my goodness.
Goodbye.
But it's just the Aegis, so Gabby doesn't really mind too much. As the Elder Dragon form, they're just gonna run in. Legionist can use as well. TNC, they're ready for the final push, and RR, they gotta make a move right here, right now. Start with the Ice Path and the Aether Remnant. Macro Pride to clear out Mega Crews, and Lucky jumps right in. They get the silence onto Gabby. Gabby down to half health, but this is how RR wants to play. Slow and steady wins the race. Drew in the midst of everything, they drop the soul by, but they should be able to get the Aegis out. RML getting used out as well. Here comes the Primal Raw. Great Ice Path to stop KP, and now Drew turns his attention onto RML. It seems like TNC, they're being forced to run. Gabby gets out of the way. Shiva's got caught by RML, but RML is tracked up, and the entirety of RR is on top of him. Sonic Wave to commit just to make sure that this Doom goes down. Doom has no buyback though, so RR, they're going to continue this chase. Force that from Hostile, tries to look for a track. KP TP's out. TNC full disengage as RR
might lose
will pick up the stragglers and march. Well, he's not marching anywhere further as Alacrity pulls him back. And only RML has the buyback, so this is a slight window of opportunity for Reality Rift.
Is it Divine Rapier time? Because I see a courier going to that secret shop. Is it Divine Rapier time?
Could be now.
We'll find out in a minute. And Route to Travel's picked up onto Alacrity, and take a look at what the DK is doing. He's actually hoping to try and pull their attention back by showing themselves in that bottom lane and maybe even threatening that Ancient. Hopefully there are some TPs available, because if that DK starts wailing on the Ancient, we're going to be looking at a lot of problems. Only Nuts is defending the Ancient as well. A poor Jakiro cannot defend the base from a Black Dragon.
And Drew bought out.
And they're TPing too.
Drew bought out Divine Rapier. And the saving grace for TNC right now is that both KP and RML have buybacks, whereas Alacrity and Drew, they both bought out. Alacrity got the boost of travel, and Drew got the Divine Rapier. This buyback is going to be a big surprise for RR, so they have to be really careful.
They've got to finish the game
They
now, or
have the
they need to
Primal
leave.
Raw, Triple Sacred Arrow, now blink right in, immediate buyback. Drew, pull right back by the Primal Raw, Doppelgangers, Phantom Rush, but where's the defense? The defense is actually pulled right back. Divine Rapier drop, and TNC, they knew this was gonna happen, and RR, they just dropped the ball. Hustler getting caught out, used. That's a dead bounty hunter.
That may have been it.
And all that effort to buy out. That's the tip. I would have tipped Drew if I was in the game. That was the biggest mistake. RR just not ready for that.
I mean, they couldn't really be ready for it because they TP KYXY back to base because Gabby went to the bottom lane and forced the TP back, which was huge.
They needed KYXY and Alacrity. They needed the entire team.
If they could have had Nuts, even. Nuts would have been there with an Ice Path, and maybe we could have actually looked at the turnaround, but the desperation from Reality Rift, you could see it.
They just needed the whole team to be there. When the team was not there, they're not supposed to fight, but now they're trying to defend the last stand. Sonic Wave, BKB by Gabby. Look at him turn around with the Divine Rapier. He says, I had the Satanic and KYX right now. Queen of Pain, not anymore. Just the blink to safety, and TNC is going to will on the throne. And off the back of a Divine Rapier, the unfortunate ending of RR, TNC is just going to take this game one. And despite RR's best effort, this is not their game. The throne goes down, TNC take it. This is 1-0 for them.
They showed signs of life. Reality Rift, they hung on for so long and they were waiting for that PL to come online, but just the big fights that they needed to win, I think we just have to be very brutally honest, they botched the fights.
pagrespeto ng Japan sa atin. I know na kahit ganitong this oras na ng gabi, alam ko marami pa tayong mga gising na mga supporters dyan. Magandang gabi sa inyo at ipapaabot ko ang
at such a high level. I think one thing that can fix this is really be patient. I remember Moon Meander told me this before, and this has been the approach and philosophy of my Dota life. He said something like that. If you have to take 120 minutes to win this game, we will take 120 minutes. It means the patience that a top tier players need to have to win games. You need to be patient.
And it's also what No2 and Step said, right? If the time isn't right yet, then it's not the time. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, so maybe that impatience really kicking in, unfortunately, and those mistakes happened because of that impatience. And of course, it was just an avalanche effect, right?
Yeah,
just mistake after mistake, and everything just went completely downhill.
It hurts as the player, it hurts as the viewer to have to witness that game, right? Because I honestly feel like that was a 50-50 when they were able to hold the base. It was honestly anyone's game. But, someone has to win, and it's just not RR in game 1.
Yeah, but hopefully this mistake can be something RR can look into positively. If they find something that can be fixed from this series, especially Drew's decision making, I do think that they can use this as a catalyst for themselves to improve a lot.
Yeah.
Because you can definitely see the potential there of what RR can achieve.
Speaking of series, the draft is ready, so let's jump into game 2 and see whether or not it's going to be tied 1-1 or if we're looking at a potential 2-0. Now, we've spoken a little bit about innovation and how some teams, they've come up with their own ways of adjusting to the new patch. Is this maybe the time that we see Reality Rift sort of kick it up a notch and not just go for the bounty hunter, but maybe go all out like they did the other day with the blue strat?
TNC.
I do think that there's a possibility. It's game 2, right? If you are really desperate for a win, might as well just go all in. And I love the fact that they ban out the Grimstroke. They are probably not so afraid of Doom. What makes the Doom even scarier is the Grimstroke.
Yeah,
it's the double Doom.
The Grimstroke has enabled. We didn't see much of March, right? But he has been the enabler for TNC Predator in the later stages of the game. Double Doom, double Primal Roar. It was especially the Primal Roars in crucial fights that just really split the battle lines of RR apart from each other. And the isolation factor was pretty deadly, especially with the Grimstroke. It just amplifies the radius. So taking that out is a good start for RR. TNC, they're going to stick with the Mirana once more.
And TNC is going to go for the Mirana. I think this time is the time that RR has to pick a defensive support with some kind of save. Because we have seen TNC, they pick themselves 5 heroes with stun, and whereas RR, they have 0 saves.
Interesting. Which Doctor going to be making an appearance here for Reality Rift? You pointed the finger. What is it?
Purple Shred, guys. Purple Shred.
What else is purple?
Wait. So then Spectre is definitely going to come up, is it?
What else is purple?
Bane is purple. Bane is ban.
Bane? Oh, okay.
What else?
10 seconds.
Dazzle?
Dazzle is purple.
Purpley pink, although I don't know if...
Dazzle is purple, yeah.
KY Love.
Slug is purple. Well, if you use the cosmetic, it's purple.
Faces War is purple, right?
Yeah, Faces War is purple.
Yeah,
Okay.
Drew's favorite hero.
We have to stop doing
This
this.
Okay.
horrible draft suggestion.
Do not learn from this.
Okay, so looking at the Witch Doctor though, what kind of combinations could we expect? I know the classic one is Void Witch Doctor, right? You use the Death Ward on outside of the Chronosphere, you get the free Death Ward damage, but what else can they pair up with this Witch Doctor?
You could look for a lane partner as well. I think Ember Spirit. Juggernaut has been a very famous partner for Witch Doctor as well, and
Also, I think one of Drew's most played heroes as well.
10
Yeah, I think
seconds remaining.
Phantom Lancer, most carries are actually okay, like even a TB.
TNC
I was about to say Ursa, but RR ban Ursa. They don't really play Ursa anyways, so that's pretty justifiable.
yeah, I think you can play Witch Doctor in a lot of ways. You can play it offensively with the max. What is that? Maledict, and also you can go for defensive and get a heal at level 1.
Yeah.
Like so, there's a lot of ways that you can go for. I think RR still have a lot of room to wait and see what TNC is going to pick next.
Oh, respect to Hustler. Bounty Hunter ban.
I mean, he was a pain in the backside in that last game, right? Just constantly throwing out the tracks, and especially when they were on the retreat, the tracks were huge.
The vision is
vision.
crazy.
Oh man.
And also the kill gold, right? I think if they didn't run the bounty hunter, we probably wouldn't have seen the game last that
Yeah,
long.
they cut the goal lead from 12k to 2k just with one fight. That was crazy.
Yeah, just by killing off the Doom that one time, and they were able to get one set of racks. That was kind of the power of Bounty Hunter.
I think Bounty Hunter is gonna be the baby of this patch very soon. I think it's very low key OP right now, simply because how this heroes concept aligns with the patch right now. You want to play fast, and Bounty Hunter lets you play even faster.
Yeah.
Doom still taken out. Alakri didn't really get to play the lane because of this Doom, right? He got the Troll Priest heal, and then he got the Ogre Cam armor. So you can see Alacrity, he was trying to just rotate around the map instead of staying in lane with Armel, because Armel just was way too strong.
Yeah, LC as the next ban for TNC, they are eliminating the save coming out from RR to for the arrow. So I think it's a very smart ban.
Yeah, I think LC in the previous game would have also helped out, helped out RR in terms of surviving fights against Primal Raw. Like all these disables were amplified not just because of the Grimstroke, but because of the lack of save, right? From heroes like LC, Abaddon is another hero that RR might look at for that potential save. And you can kind of put that on Nuts as a post 5 and run the Hustler Witch Doctor, which is completely fine.
Right, so we're looking at our final ban for TNC. Can we see any signature heroes sort of come out here? Anything that we haven't seen that the teams are very comfortable playing?
TB.
TB?
I mean,
Yeah,
Terrorblade
we've
from
not seen
TNC. At one point, they are picking Terrorblade at first pick. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that was last patch.
Yeah, that was last patch.
Terrorblade is a different man this patch.
They went for like Terribly Revenge against New Esports. They got, well, they kind of got crushed in that game, but we saw yesterday, right, Adroit, they ran this Natsumi Terrorblade. That raid boss was way too strong.
Oh, that's a sign for Terrorblade already, the Bad Rider ban. So,
let's
and
see.
like, they can pick up most of the melee carry right now because of this Bad Rider ban.
Oh yeah.
It opens up a lot of opportunities for TNC to pick up all these heroes. RR is just gonna chill right now. They're just gonna chill, wait for TNC to reveal their heroes, and then they react to that.
You kind of need to react to this next 2 picks from TNC because you run this. Voice Spirit is okay, but because you have this Witch Doctor, right? In general, Witch Doctor is more of a slower hero, so it forces you to be slightly more reactive. I actually was thinking of, Nuts, Witch Doctor, and Hostile Spirit, but I guess we won't see that on RR.
Cormorana, or
We
are we
will
looking
see.
at something different?
There's a chance it's a Core Mirana. There's a chance it's a mid Earth Spirit as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of the triple Wraith ban build right now that has been so popular, I think Mirana is kind of back. Being encouraged by that, it gives you really good armor that Mirana is severely lacking of. I think Chinese region is also another region that has been playing a lot of Mirana mid recently, especially maybe. He has been finding a lot of success. So Armel, we know that he's a very flexible player. We have seen Doom mid from him last game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see a mid Mirana. It's just that, look at the chain stun coming out from TNC.
Again,
There needs some kind of save from RR.
Again, Earth Spirit. The supports from RR, generally the supports that RR plays are backline supports, right? So you hardly see supports like, what's the support for post for? Like probably the Abaddon that I can think of, or maybe a Tusker. So generally Earth Spirit, Jakiro, they're all good against supports like Witch Doctor who want to stand there with
And
his
channel
Death
as
Ward.
well.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
get rolled over. And regardless whether this Earth Spirit is a core or a support, I think TNC Predator can definitely make it work.
TNC
And
Predator.
Spirit Breaker.
There we go.
Go.
There we go, it's back.
Right, the Spirit Breaker is back. We've seen what they've done with this, and we've only got good things to say about the Spirit Breaker. I think Reality Rift, we can't say they mastered it yet, but I think teams are going to be not really expecting the Spirit Breaker.
It changes how RR plays the game, right? You see the conventional way that this team plays most of their games, and the game that they play with the Spirit Breaker, it's completely different. They are more active, they are more proactive, and somehow their decision making just looks more satisfying to watch when they have the Spirit Breaker creating space for them.
Yeah, because when you're constantly attacking, right, your room for error, your room for mistakes suddenly become way lower because you are not so afraid of dying one time and the game is over, like the one just now.
Yeah.
So being the one that is aggressive definitely have some kind of advantage here, especially right now kills give you so much rewards. So
Yes.
we are able to snowball even easier compared to the last patch.
If they want to go for the global, RR doesn't play Nature's Prophet. That's so unfortunate. Oh, Bloodseeker is another hero that I think you can look at.
Wow, this is such a beautiful Bloodseeker pick.
This is
It's so good.
this is a
Mirana,
scary lineup.
Earth Spirit, Pangolia. You want to run, you get Ruptured, and then if you stand there, Spirit Breaker coming through.
TNC Predator.
And I love the Alchemist ban here. Insta ban for Reality Rift. They say no
cheese.
sudden Alchemist. Yeah, there's none of that kind of business. But I'm liking the change of pace here for Reality Rift because previously they tried to play the classical the typical carry, right? The hard carry for your position
10
1, then you have your
seconds
tempo controlling mid. But then now they're starting to show this more mid-game oriented aggression, and they're getting Drew more involved in the team fights as well, and it's really been paying off for them so far.
Yeah, this is creativity kicking in right now for RR.
It's a hard knock on the head, and now they like, guys, let's try something different. Timbersaw ban.
We have to give a name to this Bara and Bloodseeker. They're going to run so fast in the mid game.
I mean, you've
Like
got
a
the...
Ferrari's threat.
Ferrari, NASCAR.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm sorry, I don't know cars. So
Me neither.
I can't.
Those are the only two terms I know. Lamborghini, that's the third one.
Remaining.
the
Mustang, now go for.
the one I'm most familiar with, it's the local
TNC
Malaysian brand,
Predator.
Perodua.
Perodua. Oh my god.
Points
That's
for
the only
that.
one that I know.
So at least you know the local brand, right?
Yeah.
That's about it.
There's A for the effort.
That's it.
A for effort. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's more like an
You got
E
the
for effort.
basics. You got the basics. At least you know the roots of
10
what we have
seconds
here.
remaining.
I guess.
PL ban. Yep, good ban from RR. PL. They have no way to deal with the PL. Well, just the Bloodseeker, but it's not the best hero to deal with it. Darkseer.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Why Darkseer ban?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're worried of a very classic Darkseer plus Spirit Breaker duel.
Not even just Spirit Break, you can even throw it on the Bloodseeker too, right? Since he'll be zooming around the map too. He'll have some zoomies.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want this to be a... I feel like this is still another pick. I think TNC Predator can just
10
pick like the
seconds remaining.
Spectre, TB. A lot of great picks for TNC to go
5
for.
seconds remaining.
Right now, they have to decide whether they want Hustler on the Spirit Breaker or if they want KY on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, this is a post-4 question right now.
This is now R asking themselves, is there any other post 4 that is going to be very impactful in this game?
Shaker is not bad, I think.
Yeah, another form of lockdown.
Shaker, unless they want to go for Skywrath, which I think is okay against TNC.
I mean, if they really wanted to, they could go back for the Tusk, right? Have a defensive hero in case things go backwards for them in those
Okay.
team fights. But so Hustler is going to be taking the reins of that Spirit Breaker, it looks like.
Yep.
It's the same quad.
I mean, even if they want, they could also flex between the Spirit Breaker and the Quap. I think this all depends on what TNC is going to pick next. If this is a ranged
10
melee carry
seconds
from, if this is a melee carry from TNC,
You want the quad.
you want the Quap, yeah.
5
If it's a
seconds remaining.
if it's a range, well, the quad is honestly this Spirit Breaker 3 or 4 doesn't really matter too much, right? Because we've seen how our play with him. He's spending most of his time just roaming around. He's not good at farming anyways, unless he gets himself the Helm of the Dominator. So in terms of farm priority, this quad is definitely going to get more of that,
Yep.
and she should, regardless of the role.
Right, so what could TNC kind of pick up here that wouldn't mind getting run at, that wants to be fighting? And can stand his ground against that Bloodseeker as well.
If you ask me, maybe Wraith King.
A
could be
Wraith
the
King,
choice.
yeah, I was
Wraith
thinking
King?
of the Wraith King as well.
I think Wraith King is one of the heroes that has the top win rate in this patch.
Yeah, with Wraith King, unless they want to go back for the classic TB, but TB is pretty dangerous.
Or
Yeah.
could we maybe go for the real classic, the Rogue Knight, Sven?
Alright, never mind. They go for
Oh,
the
and-
real classic.
Yeah, the real classic. You know,
The
right?
classic of
Anti-mage.
classics.
Right, you just directly. Back then, when you pick anti-mage into a Bloodseeker, it's like a provocation, right? It's like you have rupture, I don't care. Let me pick anti-mage.
Yeah. I mean, calling it now, guys. 1-1. Ara's gonna take this.
1-1.
I mean, you're picking anti-mage and ducks into the Bloodseeker. We have seen a lot of times how Bloodseeker just destroy the anti-mage. And also, I think Ars, they have a really fast tempo draft. And I think they are going to outskill and outpace TNC.
Yeah, when you look at 4 members from RR, 5 members from RR can definitely deal with the 4 members from TNC if they play together. They
1-1.
just want to play as a unit. My prediction was 1-1, so benefit of doubt, right? Last game was a fluke. This
Okay.
game's gonna be better.
All right, 1-1. The game should be starting in just a moment, folks. But I got to ask you before we go into the game. This draft, how would we rate Reality Rift out of 10 for evolving over the course of this tournament? Of course, alongside the patch.
I'll give them an 8 out of 10, and maybe +1 for the creativity. And also maybe plus 0.5 for the courage. for the courage.
9.5.
So 9.5.
9.5.
All right. I like the courage. I think this is very hard for a team to pull out though, because looking at Boom, looking at new Esports, they didn't have the courage to put out something crazy. So we have to give credit to this.
Yeah, I think his opinion summarizes everything.
How about TNC coming into the new patch as well? Of course, we've seen TNC run their usual business before the patch, but now do you think they've kind of changed, or are they just adapting to what's being thrown at them?
I think they are slowly adding in some kind of elements from the new meta. From the new patch, we have seen Doom just now, and this game, unfortunately, they are going back to the traditional anti-mage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, their hero pools from can fit into multiple patches, and that is the good thing about them, right?
true.
You can kind of put them in the archives when the patch does not favor that hero, and when suddenly the hero looks good, you just put it back out. And that's how TNC has been kind of been playing so far.
Yeah. Well, looks like the game is ready, so let's jump into the second game.
Prepare for battle.
Out with the old, in with the new. Forget about game 1. This is game 2, RR against TNC. And we're going to see a bit of a switch up. KYXY. Actually, no, it's actually was it a Hustler Void? I feel like KYXY is on Spirit Breaker. Alacrity on that Queen of Pain.
Oh, we are seeing some new business. This is really interesting. Okay.
Well, they've been, I would say, general consensus is that RR has been more one of the more rigid teams in terms of how they assign their roles, in terms of the hero they play. But it's a fresh outlook on how they are adapting, even though there's still some questionable decisions and minor mistakes that you see from them every once in a while. But this is a good change for them.
This is really interesting because we had this discussion last night how out of all the players on Reality Rift, it seems that Hustler seems to be the most open to change. He's willing to take on new heroes every time, right? He's played the Weaver now. Now he's going to be adding the Void Spirit to his arsenal of heroes. It almost seems like you never know what he's going to play.
Yeah, and that also contributes. The fact that it contributes to that is also because RR, first they know Hustler's capabilities, right? He's like the shining Mongolian star. They trust him with his flexibility, and they are willing to play around it. And I think that's very important.
This is going to be crazy because most teams would kind of look towards the cores, right? The mids, the off lanes, the carries. You want to be more worried about those hero pools, but then now you're dealing with a position 4 that we've seen what he can do. He can be very active. He can be very aggressive with his playstyle, and we've also seen occasions where he's independent, where we've seen him on the other side of the map getting solo kills on a Skywrath mage, creating space for Alacrity and Drew. So we might be coming into this dynamic where if you play against Reality Rift, you can't just look at the cores anymore. You've got to be looking at the supports too, and that opens up the hero pools for everyone else.
Yeah, and Alacrity will be going up against RML's Earth Spirit. We kind of expected this to happen, and we're going to get that matchup. KP on the Pango and Gabby on Anti-Mage. So it's going to be March Jakiro, and of course the Tim's Mirana once more. This mid matchup should be fine for Alacrity. He shouldn't be taking too much harassment from RML unless they get the setup, right? The setup from TNC is actually pretty decent if they kind of rotate teams. You rolling Boulder into the Sacred Arrow is pretty doable. But this KYXY's Bara and Hustler Voice Base should be able to really pressure Gabby in the early stages of the game.
This is a terrifying lane actually, because of course we've seen what happens when you play Spirit Breaker. If you get one of those clutch bashes in, that almost certainly grants you that kill, right? And of course you're pairing this up with a Void Spirit in the lane as well. Looks like first blood.
KP, you have the thirst from Drew. Yep, that's first blood.
Bloodseeker kicking into play already.
Twin shall not thirst for.
And you want to keep this going. I think Bloodseeker, another hero, because of the drums, the drums buff, he generally loves that item. So if you can play fast enough, the drums for Bloodseeker would really contribute in how you can constantly run at TNC.
Of course, for the Spirit Breaker too, right? Since both of these heroes want to run you down.
I like how when you use Bulldoze, he still says Endurance Drum, if you kind of pay attention to the voice line. It's kind of a tribute to Spirit Breaker and that item. Because back then when you buy Drum of Endurance on Spirit Breaker and you use it, he will say that, but they kind of integrated it into his Bulldoze, so that's something pretty interesting. But speaking about KYXY, it's gonna get run down by Gabby, and well, he's gonna die. Hustler out of mana. He will also be a victim, and Anti-Mage. This is the start you want. He's definitely gonna try and go for the double kill. No, Hustler gets out with his life. But you don't really want to trade into Marsh though, the dual breath.
Oh, is that gonna
kill? Burn damage with the liquid fire.
Looks like he'll just survive Tango's good item. We got a charge coming in though. It looks like KYXY wanting to put some pressure back in that lane. But Hustler, so I'm curious to know what we can kind of expect on this support Void Spirit. Like, what's his goal going to be for the team? Is it supposed to be chaos? Is he supposed to be the one to help clean up for the team? Is he simply there for the silence? Like, what's he really supposed to be doing? Maybe setting up with a Yules?
Yeah, I mean, Use is like the bread and butter for a Void Spirit, and Void Spirit kind of is like an Ember Spirit, I guess, in the sense like Ember Spirit or Pango or a Mirana support, where you can play him as a support with minimal resources, but the damage output that he provides is still pretty immense. Hustler's gonna suicide. Oh well, Marsh still got the kill. It's slightly unlucky, but well, it's a quick trip back home, and he can kind of deliver whatever items that KYXY has purchased back into the lane when he respawns.
Yep. Looking at the CS situation so far, it looks like mid is tied up, whereas if you take a look at the Bloodseeker and Spirit Breaker, they are actually leading their lanes, only slightly at the moment. We might see them pushing further on ahead later on, but it looks not so bad here for Reality Rift. They're just slowly trying to edge their way closer towards that mid game, because of course the earlier that they can start executing these ganks with the charges as well as the Bloodseeker ruptures, the better, because they want to start picking up the gold as soon as they can.
Nuts turning around with paralyzing cast. Here comes the Blood Right. Tim leaps out from that, but now you have a really angry Bloodseeker on your tail. KP will zone out. There's Witch Doctor. Pretty close call, but we saw Gabby. He started off with the Orb of Venom, and Orb of Venom plus the Jakiro in lane is absolutely atrocious to kind of run away from.
Yep. Well, looks like this bottom lane, not so much action. Oh, mid lane though, there's a big arrow. And that's going to be onto the Queen of Pain as well. Alacrity!
We talk about the setup. Alacrity not going to survive that, but you have the charge from KYXY. Armel managing to sidestep that Aether Remnant just barely. I'll start with the haze. KYXY coming through. Armel gets charged on, and Hustler will claim the kill. KYXY now needs to kind of de-aggro, and he does manage to do so. But Hustler,
do they turn on to
pretty
Tims?
aggressive. KYXY is thinking about it, but maybe not the best choice, as Armel's going to respawn in less than 10 seconds.
Very risky if he tried to go for that one, so just play it safe, but they did lose Alacrity in the process. That is unfortunate. You don't want to lose your Quap during the laning phase, because of course she needs to snowball early for the team. She'll be doing the majority of the damage early on until Drew catches up alongside KYXY. But small kill, I suppose, not so bad. Oh, KYXY. They're actually going to jump onto the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, pretty dangerous. He just runs in the middle of everything. He has the bulldoze, but there goes all his health and mana.
March is an absolute pain in the backside in this lane, because if you get hit by that dual breath, the slow, especially on a Spirit Breaker, he relies on his mobility to sort of play around in these team fights, but if he's slow, he has to retreat, and of course he takes a load of damage in the process. And what can you really expect from a Void Spirit as support? How is that hero going to really protect you? It really doesn't.
And I feel like they are playing the same playstyle as they did previously in their previous series, where KYXY, he picks the Spirit Breaker, but you can see the farm priority. He's giving it a lot onto Hustler, because Hustler previously played the Weaver support, rushes the Axe, same as this Void Spirit, right? He contributes way more when he has that U-Scepter. So the priority is going to constantly shift between KYXY and Hustler, and I think this is the right move that RR is doing right now. Identifying which hero can provide more in the long run with items, and it's definitely going to be that Void Spirit.
Yeah. The lanes have to go well here for Reality Rift, because of course their timing is to just fight as soon as they can. So they will continue farming. So far it just looks like TNC, they're actually trying their best to slow this down, just get these kills here and there, prevent these heroes from hitting that level 6 at their optimal timing, even by a minute even, especially with a draft that's so mid-game oriented, because if we look at the overall drafts, late game is definitely in favor of TNC. There's the only one that can really compete with the anti-mage is that Bloodseeker, but even then anti-mage more or less outscales that hero.
Oh yeah.
So the mid-game timing, super important. But we are seeing some aggressive movements already. Alacrity and Hustler positioning themselves behind the tier 1.
Pretty dangerous for teams. Shadow Poison.
I'm very sure they know as well.
Oh, Aether Remnant. Oh, Paddy leaps out of that.
They continue charging. Maybe they're hoping Tims comes out of position.
KYXY? No. He has the arrow. He's a point-blank arrow. He can stop the charge anytime he wants. But Cliff's now used by TNC, and Tim has to be really careful. Armel runs the KYXY, but immediately eats the lantern.
Looks like they won't be able to gank that mid lane. Yeah, so Tim's on the line. But this is a pretty big rotation because they've opened up that top lane. Looks like Rupture got used, but insta TP.
Yeah, you have no setup, you have no stance to cancel the Rupture. Always an easy TP out. And all this time, this anti-mage has been getting free farm. On top of that one kill that he got, Gabby should feel pretty happy about that. But silver lining for RR, Drew also get the early kill, and what a perfectly timed counter spell.
That's the unfortunate circumstances of running something like a Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
Any kind of projectiles against the anti-mage, it's really hard to land it unless someone sets up for you.
Yeah, he has time to just wait for the coconut to start to hit him. For
Moonlight
first
Shadow.
Moonlight Shadow or Mel. They're looking at KYXY, but I don't think they can kill him. Or Mel is thinking about the KYXY. If he steps across that banner, they should be able to find him.
Very sure they know about it too. Very defensive positioning for everyone across the board. So no kills for TNC for their first Moonlight Shadow.
And while all of this was happening, you can see Hustler just farming as much as he can. Generally not afraid of the Earth Spirit. Gabby getting found, but yeah, Lacry knows better than to use that poison on him.
Maybe he was hoping to get a preemptive spell shield there from Gabby. Just get it popped early, then maybe they could have tried to fight into the anti-mage. But even then, it's a very big task.
Yeah, I mean, if Gabby kind of missed his timing, he can easily just blink away. But here comes the charge. Mass TP from TNC. I think RR need to get out. KYXY runs away. And Lacry throws a huge Sonic Wave, but he just eats the Mana Void and dies. TNC able to kill off this Queen of Pain. And RR, this is not the engage that you want.
No.
They might lose Nuts, but Hustler is there to back him up. Tim leaps away, eats the paralyzing cast, and KYXY is going to turn his attention onto Tim, who gets pulled back with the Aether Remnant. Does he have a leap? I don't think he does. Blood right on top of him. He's going to burn down to the Astral Stab, and now Marsh in a bit of a danger, but Armel comes right in, throws down the Magnetize, and Hustler really taking down to those dots, and he's going to fall through that damage over time. Bit of a trade kill. Gabby though now, a lot of low health members to clean up. The Ice Path on top of the Blood Right, and Gabby's not going to care. He's going to clean up Drew. Double kill for Armel. Magnetize continues to burn down the rest of RR. Blink right onto Nuts. Yep. He found him as well. That's a killing spree for Gabby and TNC to get a huge fight.
Oh, that's a big loss for Reality Rift. And that was a very weird engagement as well because they just wanted to grab a small kill onto the Mirana, but they were struggling to take Tim's down. And it just seemed like they pressed the issue too soon. And of course, there were so many TNC heroes up there. They all reinforced to protect that anti-mage. And so the aggression from Reality Rift, it might just be too soon. It doesn't really feel like that they're ready to kill anyone.
Yep, and
again, another attempt potentially thwarted unless, yeah, KP should be fine there.
yeah, okay. Well, they do get the bounty rune. This is something that RR can be happy about, but no way to kill KP.
It really hurt to lose Alacrity there, though, and there was a kill for the anti-mage too. That's supposed to be the Queen of Pain's supposed to be that big ticking time bomb for that mid game to make TNC, you know, worry about going into the late. Oh, is this game going to end before 30 minutes before anti-mage becomes a factor? But if you're TNC, you've got to be so happy with your position here.
Oh, Gabby cancels his TP. Backup is coming in though from TNC. And
why not? He's got all that regen to work with. They could just turn on to Drew.
Yeah, RR has to be really careful. No Rupture, no Blood Right. Armel,
This Bloodseeker is
perfect
just
angle.
not threatening at all. Yeah, look, they're just not afraid of the Bloodseeker. Typically, you're supposed to be this really, you know, the big bad Bloodseeker that you got to worry about the Rupture, but I don't know. Drew just looks like a puppy here. You don't really want to be afraid of him. You're just sort of looking at him.
No Rupture. Well, Magnetize. They use everything. Drop the Blood Right. And great pass. He guys bouncing between the AM and the Earth Spirit. Armel. Very nice dramatic. Sonic Wave blows right through his Earth Spirit. And Hustler now he jumps in. They have to charge onto Marsh. KP rolling through. Trying to create distance from the rest of RR. But RR says, here comes KYXY right on top of Marsh. Bulldogs use as well. Looking for the greater bash. Marsh throws out the Ice Path. Easily sidestep as KYXY just stands his ground and delivers a painful death for Marsh. Drew's not gonna get it. Nope. Nut says, let me have that.
Oh, Nuts coming in close there.
Blink Mana Void from Gabby. Pretty ambitious, but sometimes ambitions don't pay off. And this is one of those times Gabby. Now he gets the tip in return.
Ooh.
And I'm pretty sure
Wow.
Bob R has been waiting for a while to press that button. No, you do this to Drew in the last game. Let me tip you for trying to burst someone down with the Mana Void.
Yeah, they didn't really need to lose Gabby there, but maybe he thought he'd just be able to come in, grab that cheeky kill and get out, but
Radiant's middle
oh,
tower is
maybe
under attack.
it's the game of conditioning, you know, you make them feel a certain way and then they get used to it. Gabby thought, I want to have a,
Is under attack.
I'm gonna try something.
yeah, I want to try something new, right? New patch, new mindset. It's not the old Gabby, it's the new stuff.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Our man.
Two right there, Gabby. Looks like we got a tower there as well for TNC.
Not faded brooch, perfect for the Spirit Breaker. But it seems like KLXY is holding on to the broom handle. There we go, Helmet of the Dominator to help him with farming. Go for the power threats next. And in the previous game, TNC has been the one playing fast and furious and getting control of the enemy jungle. But because of our lineup, they are able to do that right now. And you kind of just want to starve out this anti-mage, especially when he got 3 kills early on. That really speeds up his timing of this Battle Fury.
Yeah, I don't really think they're afraid of the anti-mage, to be honest. Nice little pick up there to grab the Witch Doctor, very squishy hero, but yeah, it's supposed to be Reality Rift to actually take control of this game, but so far it just seems like it's a back and forth. Both teams have taken the game into their own hands to try and go for these kills, and I think, to be completely honest, TNC have had a much easier time getting these kills. They're more organized. The way that they gank, it's very systematic. It's very simple, right? They don't have to wait for all these spells to land to get the kill. Whereas if you're looking at Reality Rift, you've got to hope that the charge lands, then you have to hope that the coconut bounces as well, and then you have to also pray that Drew's going to be there in time. But it's just, some of it just comes down to luck, right? The coconut bounces and hoping that you get bashes. It's almost like too much RNG to play reliably.
Alakri is looking for Gabby, but
There's no way.
Walks the wrong way.
There's no way they kill the anti-mage.
If he was able to stay on top of Gabby, he would have killed him, no problem. But he kind of couldn't follow him into the tree lines, and Gabby dodged a bullet right there. The use completed by Hustler. 40-minute use for a post for Void Spirit.
Is it time? Is this the time to start moving?
It's a great timing for Hustler. He's been getting most of the farm, and speaking of that, KYXY getting rolled through by KP's Rolling Thunder. It's gonna sidestep that with a bit of a fancy footwork, waiting for the Charge of Darkness. It actually came back online, but he's not gonna find a target to use it on, and he's gonna lose his Pokemon as well. KP will find a kill. Meanwhile, though, Hustler in the Death Ward. Armel getting gone on, but the damage from Nuts not enough. Armel and March getting the kill onto Nuts, but Thorny Wave comes right through. Magnetize still on as the Mana Void from Gabby will finish off both the Queen of Pain and the Void Spirit. So it's TNC getting 4 kills.
Is this an anti-mage or is this some new hero that I'm not aware of? Gabby has been participating in almost all of these fights with the Mana Void. It feels so uncharacteristic for an anti-mage, but it's working out for the team because they convincingly won that fight in the river. It could have been the other way around and they may have lost their own teammates, but my goodness, it's just so organized.
Yeah, Gabby has been farming the bottom side of the map for a while, so it wasn't that hard for him to join that fight. Especially when RR blew everything, trying to kill off Armel, and they barely got him.
So, when is this timing supposed to be coming for Reality Rift? Because honestly, it just doesn't feel like they're in control of the game. They're not leading in net worth, they're not leading in towers, they're not controlling the map at all. It just feels like they're kind of grabbing these small kills but not going away with it.
The light silence. Should be able to kill Armel this time with the Maledict, and Armel getting caught out. That's the
Oh, Gabby gets Embers.
Blade Mill completed for Armel. Osprey just wants to stand in the middle of the fight and take everything as the tier 1 might be taken now. TP is coming in from TNC, but they have second thoughts about that.
They grab the tower at least. They got to start taking these towers away, take that map control away, make TNC feel unsafe. But after that tower, they just go back into the jungle. We're still waiting for this Orchid timing for Alacrity, but I feel like it's not going to hit that sweet spot. This is going to be a later Orchid.
Yeah. It's also a good item against the anti-mage before his meta start, but Tim's getting ran at, leaps away from Nuts, make sure that he doesn't catch a coconut in the face, but Drew, he's searching when he's pretty low. Has to heal back out with that Blood Rage. Tim just playing on the edge, managing to get away from that.
My goodness, this anti-mage is just farming so well.
Now he has the Yasha completed.
Yep.
They do manage to find Tim's as Hustler, doing the deed. Now KOXY gets a charge. Drew still running in, but Spirit Vessel pretty dangerous. Drew just Living life on the edge as Tims will be taken out. Nuts does go down. Great Sonic Wave to prevent Armel from rolling onto Hustler.
Oh, we got a pause as well. Uh-oh, who's... Oh, it's Armel that lagged.
Yeah, well, slightly unfortunate. Well, at least the fight has yet to happen.
Is there any other detection on the side of Reality Rift, or is it just that sentry that they have there? Because you're going up against a Mirana. Of course you would need detection to deal with the Moonlight Shadow, but it almost feels like they only have sentries. They don't have dust.
No, they're not yet.
I don't think they do.
Most of the time it's going to be KYXY or Alacrity carrying in the dust, but we'll see.
Uh-oh.
This Armel, yeah.
Oh, 200 ping.
Yep.
That's not so
It's all Armel. But he can afford to have this happen, right? He did carry game 1.
Of course he did. Played fantastic game 1. He is he's doing okay on the Earth Spirit this game, but it's not the same level as that last game. He was just so dominating on the Doom, and now he's sort of mellowed out as this Earth Spirit.
Yeah, but Earth Spirit is still pretty strong.
Of course.
At this, doing this timing, and he's been providing so much in those team fights.
The Magnetize is actually quite devastating, considering how squishy some of these heroes on Reality Rift are.
Oh yeah.
Like Nuts will melt to it, take a good chunk out of Hustler, and even Alacrity. Alacrity's not really that tanky either, because when you build Orchid, you don't get HP.
KYXY straight onto Armel.
Detection.
Ooh, another bash, another strike. Bump Mars back. KP rolling in with the Rolling Thunder to get the use on the Hustler. Now Hustler just drop right down into the Ice Path as KP rolls right through. They get the Rupture though. Mars might go down. Walking into the Macro Pyre as here comes Drew onto this Tims. KP, excuse me, but Gabby joins the fight. Burst out Drew with the Mana Void, and Reality Rift just not able to win this fight.
They couldn't pick them off. They just, it seems every time they come into these team fights, they just run out of damage at the last minute. And then all of a sudden it just turns into TNC's favor. The Orchid, oh dear.
But we tried.
Here's thy reckoning.
Yeah, I'm not sure if trying is enough here. Although here is the debut of that Orchid, but it can pretty kill this anti-mage. It looks like he won't be able to.
No Sonic Wave. Slightly unfortunate, but they find Tims. As Hustler's gonna start to engage off. Shadow strike on top of him. Tims is not gonna be able to get out, just get whipped to death. There we go.
Alright, so the debut of that Orchid, TNC will be aware of this now in Alacrity's arsenal, but are they really afraid of this Orchid?
Oh, this Orchid definitely does provide both Alacrity and Hustler a lot of ways to pick people off. Of them enable them to be more aggressive as they fight Armel, but Armel is a tough cookie to crack. Get the Orchid on top of him. Here comes Rolling Thunder from KP though. Hustler in a pretty dangerous position to simulate. Druna joins the fight, and here comes KYXY to get the Rupture on top of Armel. These guys definitely dead in the blood right. Easy kill for RR. This time they make it work out.
You know, I'm actually liking this now. Reality Rift, they are picking up the tempo. They are constantly fighting whenever the Rupture is off cooldown. And this is huge because if you take a look at TNC, a lot of their team fight revolves around having their ultimates available, having the Rolling Thunder, the Magnetize to push Reality Rift back, but because these have longer cooldowns and even Moonlight Shadow as well for repositioning. The fact that these have pretty long cooldowns means that they're not reliably going to have them for every single fight, which means that the pickoffs, they should go in Reality Rift's favor unless they take a little bit too long to try and get these executed. Looks like we get another kill here, KP.
Oh, the Orchid really paying off.
They got to just keep doing it. I mean, this is working. They've got the charge. The Orchid is ready. They've also got a very short cooldown in the Rupture. Oh
Drew.
dear.
My friend, why are you there? Yeah, boy takes him down. Don't think this is a fight that R wants, but they're gonna try anyways. March using the magic stick, but he has the Orchid. Gabby in the backline, that's the double kill for him. The Battle Fury cleaving through the rest of RR. Magnetize is out as Hustler will pull Gabby back, but Gabby's just gonna blink forward. Doesn't really matter. KYXY says, I'm out, but an arrow! Tim! He lands it on KYXY, and the Centaur's gonna help out. KYXY wants to get away, but nah, Gabby's not gonna let that happen. Triple kill for this AM. TNC, another great fight for them.
Oh, that was very ambitious. They wanted to come in after Drew had more or less been picked off, but I think it fell back to the syndrome of just trickling in, right? I don't think we've ever seen a game where trickling in ever ends up going your way. So Reality Rift, they lose another pretty big team fight. And of course, the anti-mage was involved, so Gabby getting quite a bit of gold out of this too.
Yeah,
I'm worried because it feels like they're getting a bit reckless. And if anything, Drew shouldn't have been alone in that top lane.
Well, there's an anti-mage is now 9-1 in 3. Just got the fresh Manta. Going for the Halberd next. It's really going to prevent Drew from doing much in any fights.
Just continue farming. If anything, TNC have the late game secured. You're running an anti-mage. There is no fear in that late game. Even Mirana can scale late game. Even Pango does a reasonable job scaling into late game. And then of course you've got the Earth Spirit who, although he doesn't become that really big powerhouse in the late game, he is an absolute nuisance, especially once he starts considering a Aghanim Scepter. He starts turning heroes into stone.
Are scanning.
Here we
Such
go.
a nightmare to deal with as a smoke from TNC.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be broken by Alacrity as Alacrity will get away, but Nuts now going for the ward fight. Great Parasite Kai's bouncing through the rest of TNC, and Hustlers will come right in. Great death ward, dash the Sonic Wave. Nathas straight onto KP. KP also is gonna go down. It's Gabby into the back line, gonna find Nuts with the mana void, but they have to use where's the Aether Remnant. They find it, they pull him back, but they need more damage though. Moonlight Shadow is out. They're gonna pump him back with the bash. They kill off Gabby, and now immediately TNC they want to retreat from this as RR will want to continue to fight. The Magnetize is pretty huge as Tames with the Moonlight Shadow try to TP the Aether Remnant, not able to clip him in the edge. He actually TPs out to safety, but nonetheless, that's the fight that RR has been looking for, and they win that.
That was a big team fight to win, and the reason being was that they actually tried to bottleneck themselves. Obviously, when they want to run out of the river, they got bottlenecked by that path back to the dire side. And of course, if you're Reality Rift, you've got so much AoE control on your team. And Nuts, he just came in, maledicted 3. He didn't even go for the cast first. That was huge because, of course, maledict, more damage you do, more damage ticks. So that was beautiful. Just the total teamwork coming in from the Radiant side, converging in together, and Gabby, I think Gabby got a little ahead of himself there because of course he went in just to kill Nuts, but if you're going to lose your life as an anti-mage to kill off a Witch Doctor, no.
Yeah, he
not
was
a trade.
He blinked into a very dangerous position, and well, RR just converged on him, and we saw Nuts now. He bought the Holy Locket for himself. As Armel with the Blade Mail, it's going to be a huge threat in fights, but KYXY, he gets himself his own Blade Mail. These two will be frontlining for the team, but TNC still has a pretty substantial lead that they can work with.
Yeah, they're not out of it yet. Of course, they lost a big team fight, but it's, at the end of the day, it's still the anti-mage factor. All they need to do is just go back to farming mode on the AM, and under normal circumstances, he shouldn't die. He's got the Manta style, he's got the spell shield, he's a very difficult target to take down. So as long as he just plays it safe, Gabby will get that farm. It's just up to Reality Rift. Can they speed this game enough and finish it before Gabby becomes a factor?
I think Gabby's always going to be hitting a pretty decent timing, and he's 4,000 gold ahead of both Drew and Alacrity. He almost got that Halberd. So smoke from RR.
Another fight coming, and this is a BKB on Alacrity as well, so of course they are building for fighting items now.
Yeah. Drew can't be the first one to join the fight. He has to bide his time. They see Tim's Hustler as TNC, they also have the catch win of RR. KP just got his fresh use, and Gabby got that fresh Halberd. This is going to be a pretty important fight. Smoke's gonna break, and here comes Armel, rolls right in, gets immediately silenced by the Orc. KYX are coming through, but he has to run to the Ice Bomb. He gets stopped, and KP is gonna roll right in with the Rolling Thunder. The Aether Remnant is gonna try and catch on to KP, but he's gonna Swashbuckle out of there, and Armel kicking KYX away from the fight. The Sonic Wave, pretty okay, hitting onto Armel, but you can see Gabby joining the fight. Immediately, he blows out Alacrity with that Mana Void, and Drew, well, he runs fast, but he's not running into the fight. He's actually running away. He says, hasta la vista, baby. I am too fast for people to kill me, but I'm gonna abandon 3 of my teammates. He's gonna outrun Gabby.
He's running. Oh my goodness, this is the Roadrunner show. This is brilliant.
Well, they lose 4 members, but I guess Drew was able to run away. That's good news. Look at him go.
Yeah, it's still going. My goodness. He could still potentially be a target though, if Gabby decides to maybe try and jump in onto that Bloodseeker. Looks like I think he is trying to make that wrap around onto Drew. And they've also got the Earth Spirit coming in. Oh, Drew, does he know this is coming?
Not as fast as... No. Manta, okay.
Okay. Oh, they see him with
see him. Roll. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Goodbye.
Oh dear.
Oh, that movement speed.
Sometimes movement speed's not enough.
Sometimes you just can't outrun your fate. He just shows up in lane right after getting away.
Yeah.
And good fortification from TNC as well. they made sure that the creep wave stays, not get killed by the blood right, and well, Drew took it. They was desperately trying to clear out that creep wave.
Yeah, I think Reality Rift, they're losing steam now. They're down by 10k gold where it's supposed to be them leading. They're supposed to be the ones with the item advantage, the level advantage, to start pushing high ground by now, but it's TNC and they're running an anti-mage who he's not playing a predictable anti-mage. Normally he'd be farming in the jungle, but Gabby's been fighting with the team. Looks like they're going to be losing the Jakira here to Alacrity. And are they going to try and engage into this? Hustlers in the jungle, but
Yeah.
there's so many heroes nearby.
Oh man, they have no idea that Roshan is being taken. Alacrity getting a double kill. They lost KYXY, but this is a smart move from TNC. They're going to get Roshan for free.
Yeah, with the anti-mage too, so if you catch him once, alright, it's okay. They've got the Aegis, there's no way they catch him twice. And now with the Basher, this AM, he's spiraling out of control.
March just got his flats as well. So this TNC lineup is coming online so fast, and they're not able to keep up. Greaves now on KP. He just got his use not long ago, and now he has the Garden's Greaves. This is an absolute nightmare for RR to deal with.
I'm just wondering, how do you even deal with Gabby? Because I don't actually think he would care if he could hit by a Rupture. He'd be more than happy to fight through it.
Yeah, no.
There's no one that can trade with him one-on-one.
No. I think TNC now they can smoke up for a fight.
We don't have Moonlight Shadow, but it should be coming off cooldown pretty soon. Who will they run into? Oh, they might run into Drew and Hustler.
If they win this fight,
Or
that's
is
the
it
fresh
gonna be-
Aegis.
Or is it Alacrity?
Oh, they check high ground. It's Alacrity who breaks the smoke. Nuts is also there. You can see they start
unless
running.
it's
Drew! What, Drew?
Oh, Drew!
In such a dangerous position, they're gonna jump onto him, but Gabby straight towards the backline. Sonic Wave comes right through. Hustler in the backline as well, but Gabby will finish off Drew. It seems like RR cannot take this fight at all. March, a double kill. Get the magnetized Nether Strike used by KYXY. Alacrity blinks away, but KYXY gets bopped back onto the cliff. But Alacrity just getting chased down by this anti-mage. And RR, they just lose 3 members and take none.
This might just be the final nail in the coffin.
Hello?
TNC, oh, Hustler just trying to get out of there. You might be able to outrun them with spider legs.
They know where he is.
Radiant's middle tower
We'd be
is
able to
under
get out.
attack.
Oh,
Get the courier, come on. Oh, never mind.
double heals.
Dissimulate? Yes. Yeah, it's just fine. How's not the great escape?
The greatest of all escapes.
They're still looking for. They even used the Moonlight Shadow.
Radiant's middle
Come
tower
on, Sla.
is under attack.
Still going.
Radiant's
They're gonna see
middle
him.
They didn't
tower
know.
has fallen.
Oh, it's badly. Now they know.
Still going.
Oh,
no,
wait, they don't?
They don't know.
He has TP, but he's just biding his time. So.
This clears the creep wave while he's at it too. Oh goodness.
Get out, friend.
This guy.
Oh,
wait.
they have no way to stop
The
him.
creeps.
Tower is under
Oh, that's a
Oh,
net.
they
Now
do.
he's dead. Oh well.
Almost had it. Almost.
Oh, he did had a good run.
Radiant's
All the
top
tips as well. Oh my goodness, the 200
Dire's
tips.
top tower is under
Oh dear.
attack.
Moon Hustler, they did his job. You know, tactical feeding. Gotta keep the game going. Make sure that there's at least some time for Reality Rift to potentially find a comeback here.
Yeah,
Yes.
can't really blame them. The clumsy net from KP.
Just came in handy.
Oh, quickening charm found by RR.
We might be looking at another big team fight. I know for a fact Nuts is terrified of this anti-mage because every single time Gabby has just been wailing on this poor witch doctor. Oh,
Look at Nuts. Well,
the jukes are
look at the
real.
net. Yeah, he's dead. Well, just can't outrun the clumsy net.
He's trying.
Yeah,
He's
it's
trying.
it's a post-fight witch doctor. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, are they gonna find Alacrity? Looks like Alacrity gonna play it safe.
Radiant's bottom
It's gonna be
tower
another
is
high
under
ground
attack.
defense and 30-minute episode.
BKB as well on the Earth Spirit.
30 minute, and this anti-mage is 14-2. He has 4 core items and an Aegis. Nah, how are you gonna fight him? There's no way that anyone can fight this anti-mage. Gabby is way too strong right now.
And even
Radiant's
if
bottom
Drew wanted to
tower
try and
is under
1v1 the
attack.
anti-mage, there's the
Radiant's bottom
halberd
tower
on
is
Gabby.
fallen.
So just pops the halberd onto the Bloodseeker. What do you really do? Nothing really.
Yeah, honestly, Gabby can just
Oh
solo
my-
kill. Solo carry, yep.
Oh
Hustler
my
is dead.
goodness.
It's gonna be an early end to this if RR doesn't find a way. They push Gabby back, but a great arrow from Tim's. KYXY is now going to be the next victim. Magnus has been thrown right out. Gabby straight towards the back line. Buyback from KYXY. Starting with comes right through. Hits on the Gabby, but he does have the ages, so he doesn't really care. KYXY charges right in to miss something, to drop the blood right on top of everyone from TNC, but they're just going to walk out from there. KP now starts the Rolling Thunder. KYXY, he brought back, so he can't die. Careful now gets channel as Gabby immediately towards the back line with that mana void. Goes to the damage spree. That is RML as Gabby is unstoppable. RR, they still want to buy back, but seems like the only time that they can utilize his buyback is probably the next game as TNC just completely demolishes what they have in mind. And this is going to be at least one set of racks.
Yeah, it just seemed that from the get-go, especially during the laning phase, it was never really Reality Rift's game. They didn't have it from the laning stage. They didn't have it from the beginning of the mid game. They just sort of ended up getting counted by every team fight.
Yep, and well, Drew just bought out again. They're gonna finish him off as Gabby is gonna walk on Alacrity. Drew, he buys back. Right now it's him, Nuts, and Hustler. Rupture onto RML, they pull him back. It's from Hustler, but where's the damage? The damage is not there. Now Nuts gets gone by Gabby, and Gabby will just beat him to death. That's Nuts. That's the dieback. And Hustler gets used up. It gets caught. Another use to make sure that Drew regrets his decision. He pops his fresh BKB, runs back into the fountain, and that's all she wrote. Hustler will forfeit his life, as that's the GG call. RR, they can't stand this no more. TNC would take this 2-0.
This was a pretty tough game, especially when you didn't really get the momentum you were looking for from that laning stage. It was just, TNC, they reinforced the way that they reinforced these team fights. It was perfect because